Previously, on Wang Lin's path of defiance, the Scatter Thunder clan is no more. Their legacy was torn asunder as Wang Lin seized the eternal thunderbolt and stood face to face with his oldest nightmare. The messenger of the heavens, the entity that stole Li Muan's soul centuries ago. In a display of pure ancient fury, Wang Lin severed the messenger in Appo's hand and claimed his prize. But his ambition did not stop there. Refusing to follow the path of others, Wang Lin completed his 9 accompanying thunders, birthing the and Appo's, defying thunder and Appo's, from his own rebellious will. Without using a single drop of Joss flame, he forced the Great Void Gate to appear, an act of sheer impossibility that sent tremors through the entire ancient star system. Now, seeking refuge in the fallen land, the hunt has finally caught up to him. Master Simo, a powerful third-step cultivator, has sent his avatar to end Wang Lin's life. As the world flipped and mountains crumbled, the mysterious great emperor of the fallen land intervened with a chilling ultimatum. And Appo's, defeat this avatar in the span of 5 breaths, and you shall have my protection. And Appo's, for breaths have already passed. The air is thick with the scent of blood and the roar of 1,000 storms. Wang Lin has unleashed his final traps, fusing 10,000 dragon collapse pills and refining the fire essence of a god. Only 1 breath remains. The clock is ticking. The heavens are watching. Can Wang Lin strike down a god's avatar before the final echo fades? The battle for survival reaches its climax. Right now. 5 breaths. The time for one to take 5 breaths, calling it an instant might be too fast, but it was just a bit slower than lightning flashing across the sky. Whether it was the armored dragon patriarch, the old man from the Fire Sparrow clan, or Master Simo, none of them believed it was possible to end the battle in 5 breaths of time. After all, the enemy Wang Lin faced was Master Simo. However, after Wang Lin heard this, his eyes shined brightly. Before the echo of 1 dissipated, Wang Lin waved his hand and erupted his full cultivation. End of time was a spell Master Simo had comprehended himself from the time restriction, similar to Wang Lin's flowing time. Now that he had used this spell, a storm erupted from the time restrictions. The reversing world trembled violently under this storm. The sky became a sickly yellow and pus began to appear. The pus began to gather and then ruptured, releasing large amounts of dark yellow liquid. The entire world became desolate. Countless cracks appeared on the earth and continued to spread as if the earth was rapidly aging. This all happened in an instant. The sky and earth closing and suddenly collapsed under this spell. The moment the world collapsed, the vortex formed by the time restriction swept up the world and charged toward Wang Lin with an unimaginable destructive aura. At this moment, the echo of the word one was still strong. Wang Lin's entire cultivation erupted and a powerful light erupted from his body. In his eyes, everything in the world gave of light and gathered around him to form a large light silhouette. Light and shadow shield. When the time storm arrived, the light shadow shield formed and collided with it. The large light silhouette around Wang Lin flashed violently and flickered. When it collided, it caused the flow of time on Wang Lin to increase several-fold. If it was someone else, it would be very difficult for them to resist this time-based spell. However, Wang Lin had also comprehended his own time spell. It was the second spell he had created in his life, flowing time. The moment the time vortex collided with him, Wang Lin waved his right hand. The world rumbled and a large stone door appeared. This stone door gave off a desolate aura which fused with Wang Lin. From a distance, Wang Lin seemed to be standing on the stone gate and was shrouded by the power of time. No matter how much the world raged around him, he didn't move at all. Only his hair moved in the wind, giving him an ethereal feeling. Also at this moment, the light and shadow shield shined brightly and a reflective force began to build. Master Simo's expression changed as he took a step forward without any hesitation and pressed his hand down. With this press, a heaven-shaking palm print appeared. It contained all the power he could use at the 5th heaven's blight, and was filled with killing intent. It immediately broke through the time restriction around the light and shadow shield and collided with it. Waves of thunderous rumbles echoed in all directions and the light and shadow shield collapsed. However, the moment it collapsed, Wang Lin let out a roar and formed a second one. This repeated again. In this brief moment, 3 light and shadow shields appeared. After the third time, the shield collapsed. However, the moment it collapsed, It reflected a majority of the power of the time restrictions and palm print back at the incoming Master Simo. 2. The voice echoed across the void once more. There were still 3 breaths left. No one who was strong enough to observe this battle with their divine sense believed Wang Lin could win in 3 breaths of time. When the word 2 echoed, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. When the light and shadow shield collapsed, he was also affected by the impact and coughed out blood. However, he let out a loud laugh and charged forward. As he charged out, Wang Lin launched his killing move. He was fast beyond imagination, and the thunder tattoo appeared in his right eye. The thunder had 9 types of accompanying thunder, and immediately formed a giant thunder tattoo before Wang Lin. This thunder tattoo was heaven-shaking. The thunder essence was powerful, and the 9 accompanying thunders rumbled loudly. This was especially true for the last 3 accompanying thunders: G Thunder, Bloodline Thunder, and Defying Thunder. These 3 thunders erupted with great power, causing the thunder tattoo to shine brightly. In a flash, countless silver snakes appeared in the sky. They filled their skill and began to gather toward the thunder tattoo. This thunder tattoo was heaven-shaking, and when it appeared, Wang Lin pushed it forward. It launched its attack on Master Simo just like how it attacked the Void Gate. The thunder tattoo filled the sky and charged at Master Simo. Master Simo's expression was serious. Along the entire way, he had dreaded Wang Lin's thunder spell the most. Although he had never experienced it himself, recalling Wang Lin's attempts to break the Void Gate was enough to make his skin crawl. At this moment, when he saw the thunder tattoo, he recalled the scene of when Wang Lin attempted to break the Void Gate. He waved his hand and the time restriction wrapped around him. "Let's see if your thunder is stronger than my time restrictions." Wang Lin moved like thunder and pushed the thunder tattoo. It absorbed the endless thunder that had appeared from the void. It was like a bolt of eternal heavenly thunder and descended on Master Simo like divine retribution. The 2 got closer and closer, and that voice from the void echoed once more. 3. As the word 3 echoed, Wang Lin's body fused with the thunder tattoo, and it was impossible to tell them apart. The thunder tattoo collided with Master Simo's time restrictions. The resulting thunderous rumble was heaven-shaking and spread in all directions. Under this violent impact, the time restrictions around Master Simo trembled and collapsed. Under the powerful force of the thunder, the shattered time restrictions smashed toward Master Simo. As the time restrictions smashed toward him, the thunder tattoo closed in. All of this happened too fast. In an instant, the thunder tattoo imprinted on his chest. Master Simo's face turned pale and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. He wasn't able to suppress it as he retreated. Thunder covered his chest and crackling sounds echoed. His injuries got worse as he retreated. He looked horrified. Although he already thought highly of Wang Lin, he still couldn't believe how powerful the thunder was. Even time had to collapse before that thunder. Wang Lin was also hit by the time restrictions when the thunder and time restrictions collided. In an instant, his face turned old and wrinkly and he became an old man. However, the next instant, endless vitality erupted from Wang Lin's body and reversed the aging. He returned to normal, but his face was extremely pale. It was obvious that facing the avatar of a third-step cultivator was an extremely difficult battle for him. Seeing Master Simo retreat, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and monstrous killing intent erupted as he gave chase. However, at this moment, that voice echoed from the void once more. 4. Before the voice finished, Wang Lin's laugh interrupted it. He pierced through the sky at full speed and caught up to the retreating Master Simo. Then he waved his hand. A golden pill the size of a fingernail appeared from the void and shot toward Master Simo at an unimaginable speed. It was too fast, and in the blink of an eye, it arrived 100 feet from Master Simo. Without waiting for the golden pill to get closer, Wang Lin roared without hesitation. "Explode!" As he roared, a heaven-shattering rumble echoed. It sounded like a cultivation planet exploding, and the shockwave traveled into the distance along with the destructive force. Master Simo was too close and he coughed out blood once more. Terror appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect Wang Lin to have a treasure like this. When he was hit by the explosion of the pill, he felt like the flesh on his body was going to be torn off and even his bones were going to shatter. If it wasn't for the fact that his original body was at the third step and therefore he was able to gather a large amount of resources to refine an almost invincible body, an ordinary cultivator would have long died. Master Simo had refined this avatar after he found that he was trapped at the early stage of nirvana void for too long and couldn't get too many Tao spirits. He had refined this avatar hoping it would reach the third step and help improve his cultivation. As Master Simo's avatar was pushed back by the explosion, Wang Lin took a step forward and waved his right hand. The blaze fire mutation crystals he had refined was thrown out. Explode! Wang Lin roared as the blazing fire mutation crystals closed in on Master Simo. Just as the golden pill had exploded, the crystals began a second round of destruction. All of this sounds long, but in reality it all happened in an instant. Not good. The armored dragon patriarch had been paying close attention to this battle. When he saw this, his expression changed greatly. Visit and read more novel to help us update chapter quickly. Thank you so much. The ripples from the collapse of the golden pill were still there and the thunderous rumbles were still echoing. Master Simo was injured by the impact from before and blood was flowing down the corner of his mouth. At this moment fear filled his eyes. He retreated like crazy and the feeling of death rushed over him. It was like an invisible pressure that wanted to crush his whole body. The collapse of the blazing fire mutation crystal was even more intense than the dragon collapse pill. It contained heavenly fire and, under Wang Lin's control, had been compressed countless fold. It contained enough power to threaten a fifth heaven's blight cultivator. As the injured Master Simo retreated, Wang Lin's roar echoed and the crystal suddenly gave off a blinding light. This light enveloped the entire planet and lit up the whole world. Master Simo let out a miserable scream and his body began to burn. This dark blue flame didn't burn his clothes, but his flesh and origin soul. His miserable screams were enough to make the heart of anyone tremble. After suffering Wang Lin's 2 direct attacks, Master Simo was seriously injured but didn't die. His vision blurred and he was filled with fear he had never shown before. The only thing in his mind was to escape. 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 However, just as this thought appeared in his mind, a blood light flashed inside the fire. A sword that could shake the world shot out from this blood light toward Master Simo. This sword was very fast. It was impossible to follow with the naked eye, and even divine sense couldn't keep up with it. Its speed seemed to not be bound by the law of heaven, and it instantly closed in on Master Simo. The seriously injured Master Simo couldn't dodge at all as the blood sword pierced through his chest. Popping sounds echoed inside his body, but he still didn't die. Master Simo's avatar was, after all, at the fifth heaven's blight cultivator, so it was not easy to kill. Wang Lin was fully prepared for this. Dragon collapse pill, blazing fire mutation crystal, 40 million rays of sword energy, and at the critical moment he even took out the blood sword. In a short period of time, Wang Lin had launched all his killing moves, but in the end was still unable to kill a fifth heaven's blight cultivator. However, to injure him to this degree, Wang Lin could be famous in both the inner and outer realms. After all, he had only completed 1 essence. If he completed his 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th essences, even if Wang Lin hadn't opened the void gate by then, he could fight against a 3rd step cultivator. Seeing that Master Simo still hadn't died, Wang Lin's expression became gloomy. He raised his right finger at the sky and was about to chase with a spell. However, at this moment, that voice from the void echoed once more. How can my fallen land be a place where you can come and go as you wish? As the words echoed, Master Simo had already escaped to the horizon, and he was about to disappear with ripples spreading around him. At this moment, the sky began to distort, and an invisible airflow formed a vortex. Just as Master Simo's figure was about to disappear, a finger charged out from the vortex and mercilessly pressed down on Master Simo. This finger was too big. It seemed to be as big as heaven. It was formed by the airflow and was transparent, but it could still be distinguished from the sky. Its speed was indescribable as it descended from the vortex. It was as if it was going to pierce a hole in the earth and collapse the sky. Master Simo let out a desperate cry when it landed on his body. He was unable to dodge or escape. It was as if an unimaginable force had appeared in this world and frozen everything. Even teleportation had been stopped. When the finger closed in, Master Simo trembled and coughed out blood. Large amounts of cracks appeared on his flesh and spread across his body. Finally, his body shattered into countless fragments and his origin soul was torn apart. The wind blew by and the smell of blood spread. It lingered for a long time. The voice from the void never appeared again. The finger returned into the vortex and disappeared without a trace. It was as if nothing had ever happened. The cultivation planet was completely silent. The old men from the Fire Sparrow clan were still staring dumbfounded at everything. They were still terrified and filled with disbelief. The Armored Dragon clan's young master's face was extremely ugly and showed a hint of panic and remorse. He nervously retreated and quickly stood beside his father. "Father, this is bad. This person seems to be favored by the great emperor." His father, the Armored Dragon Patriarch, was gloomy. He interrupted his son and gloomily said, "What is there to panic about? To be able to injure and force Master Simo's Fifth Heaven's Blight Cultivation avatar to retreat means he is very strong. Your father is indeed not his match, but I'm an elder of the Fallen Council and have been loyal to the Great Emperor, while he is a mere outsider. He didn't fulfill the Great Emperor 5 breaths requirement, but even if he did complete it, if he provoked me, the Great Emperor would still kill him. Humph, he won't dare to cause me any trouble. If I were him, I would immediately leave to find a place to heal." Wang Lin floated in the air and let out a big breath. Although his battle with Master Simo's avatar was short, it was filled with danger and he was injured. What made him even more cautious was the attitude of the Great Emperor. Although Master Simo was seriously injured, to be able to kill the avatar with one finger means that he is far stronger than Taoist water. I just don't know how he compares to Tao Master Blue Dream. Also, he is obviously helping me. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He should leave now. After all, he was injured and needed to find a place to recover. However, when Wang Lin's gaze fell on the cultivation planet, his eyes turned cold. "The Fallen Council's 9th Elder. You dared to help Master Simo, so you're my enemy. 9th Elder. I'd like to see what the Great Emperor's bottom line is." Wang Lin rarely provoked others, but once someone provoked him, he rarely let them off. He let out a cold snort and moved like a meteor toward the location of the Armored Dragon clan. He was very fast as he moved like a ray of light across the sky and caused thunderous rumbles. The expressions of all the cultivators watching changed greatly. After watching Wang Lin and Master Simo's battle, no one dared to stop him. The face of the young master of the Armored Dragon clan turned deathly pale as he subconsciously walked back a few steps and exclaimed, "Father, The Armored Dragon Patriarch felt his heart drop and bitterly thought about how he assumed Wang Lin wouldn't look for trouble after his battle. Although he was shocked when he thought about the injuries Wang Lin had suffered, he revealed a ferocious expression. "All second-step cultivators of the Armored Dragon clan, stop anyone from entering the clan." As the mighty voice echoed, more than 10 second-step cultivators flew out to stop Wang Lin. However, just at this moment the world rumbled and the meteor made of thunder arrived. Wang Lin arrived before the Armored Dragon clan. Just as those cultivators were flying into the air, Wang Lin mercilessly pressed down. Scram! His cold voice was heaven-shaking, and as his hand pressed down, a giant palm print appeared. It smashed down toward the Armored Dragon clan. When the second-step cultivators of the Armored Dragon clan touched the palm print, they immediately coughed out blood. They were thrown away, and the physical bodies of 3 of them immediately collapsed. They weren't able to stop it at all. The palm print landed on the earth and the entire Armored Dragon clan's land immediately collapsed. A mere small clan dares to scheme against me? You're courting death. Wang Lin laughed as he descended. His gaze fell on the father and son duo of the Armored Dragon clan. The Armored Dragon Patriarch was terrified. He didn't expect Wang Lin to still be so powerful after being injured. He had no confidence in resisting that palm just now. Wang Lin's expression was cold as he pointed at the sky and thunder began to gather. The Armored Dragon Patriarch's expression changed greatly. He grabbed his son and immediately retreated as he screamed, "You dare to kill me? I'm the 9th Elder of the Fallen Council. I was appointed by the Great Emperor himself. If you hurt just a strand of my hair, the Great Emperor will tear you apart." Just at this moment, a ray of sword energy closed in from the horizon. This ray of sword energy was shocking as it crossed the sky and closed in on this location. When the armored dragon patriarch saw this ray of light, the fear in his eyes dissipated and was replaced with ecstasy. Great Emperor's messenger. Aha, the messenger has come. An outsider like you would dare to provoke me, a fallen elder? You're dead. Not only was the armored dragon patriarch happy, but his son also relaxed and revealed a look of joy. Wang Lin raised his head. He wasn't in a rush to attack but coldly looked up. A middle-aged man wearing red walked out from the ray of sword energy. He gave off no aura of a cultivator. Not even Wang Lin detected anything. It was obvious he had cultivated an extremely powerful spell to hide his cultivation. Fallen Council's 9th Elder greets the Great Emperor's messenger. Since Lord Messenger came, please help. The armored dragon patriarch became respectful and clasped his hand. His son also became respectful. The middle-aged man's expression was cold and he waved his hand. A red jade appeared in his grasp. As the Great Emperor decrees. The armored dragon patriarch trembled and lowered his head even more in respect. The armored dragon patriarch is stripped of his status as the 9th Elder and must take this pill immediately. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, he waved his sleeve and a black pill flew toward the armored dragon patriarch. The armored dragon patriarch's body trembled and his face became deathly pale. He was in a daze while staring at the black pill before him. Poison. Poison life pill. This. The middle-aged man's expression remained neutral and he slowly said, "There are some people you can't provoke and scheme against, so you must pay the price." When he finished, he immediately looked at Wang Lin. His expression was no longer cold. He smiled and respectfully clasped his hands. Subordinate greets young emperor. Young emperor. When the armored dragon patriarch heard this, it was like a hammer had struck his chest. His face was pale as he looked at Wang Lin, and shock and bitterness filled his eyes. He wasn't the only one. The armored dragon clan's young master beside him was also pale. His mind trembled and he was in a daze from the disbelief. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. His expression didn't change and his cold gaze swept past the messenger. Young emperor? The messenger still had the respectful smile on his face and quickly said, "The great emperor has already passed down the order to the fallen land. You are now the young emperor appointed by the great emperor, and are above the 13 fallen elders." Wang Lin's expression remained neutral and he didn't speak. At this moment, the armored dragon patriarch held the pill and bitterly looked at it. After silently pondering for a long time, he said to the messenger, "Messenger, Lord, can you spare my son's life?" The smile on the messenger's face disappeared. His expression became cold once more and he slowly said, "I'm only here to deliver the pill and pass the great emperor's message. The fate of others has nothing to do with me." The armored dragon patriarch's eyes were filled with despair as he looked at this son, who was still stunned. He looked at Wang Lin with respect and bitterness as he whispered, Young emperor, it was my fault for offending you, so please let my son go. I bear all responsibility. Young emperor, have mercy." As he spoke, he suddenly raised his head and reached for his son. The young master was startled and immediately let out a miserable scream. His father held his body and injected origin energy inside. A thunderous rumble echoed as all his meridians were destroyed along with his origin soul. His cultivation had been wasted and he had turned back into a mortal. Intense pain came from the body of the armored dragon clan's young master. He coughed out blood and his face was ashen. The world around him distorted as all power escaped from his body, and he passed out from the intense pain. The armored dragon patriarch knelt down and bitterly begged, "Lord young emperor, my son has lost his cultivation and can no longer cultivate. He will not be a threat to the young emperor. I beg the young emperor to have mercy and allow him to live." Wang Lin silently pondered for a bit and then nodded. The armored dragon patriarch's face revealed a sign of gratitude, and he waved his right hand to safely put his unconscious son away. He then took a deep breath and swallowed the pill without hesitation. The pill instantly melted in his mouth and turned into black fire that rushed into his body. This black fire gave off a demonic feel and began burning his body like crazy. Even his origin soul burned. From the outside, The armored dragon patriarch's body turned red before black fire came out from the pores of his body. He turned into a ball of black fire, and after the fire dissipated, nothing remained. What fire is this? Wang Lin's pupils suddenly shrank. The entire cultivation planet was silent. Many people saw this scene and they trembled. The great emperor was like a god here, and no one dared to challenge his order. The people of the armored dragon clan were all filled with fear, and they lowered their heads. A fourth Heaven's Blight cultivator in the inner realm can be the apex, and even in the outer realm he can be the leader in a great clan. But in this fallen land, one would swallow a poison pill and die without hesitation. This just shows how strong the great emperor is. The reason he sent this pill to the armored dragon patriarch was to show me and indirectly give me a warning. The death of the armored dragon patriarch meant that this matter was over. The middle-aged man smiled and clasped his hands at Wang Lin. The armored dragon clan can't be left without a leader. I asked young emperor to appoint a new leader. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, but his expression didn't change. His right hand randomly pointed to a youth at the Nirvana Scryer stage in the distance and he said, "This person then." The youth was still trembling due to the death of the patriarch and the words of the messenger. He was stunned when Wang Lin pointed at him, but then he was like a person who went from burning in hell to ascending to heaven. This change was too drastic, so he couldn't react at all. He didn't have the highest cultivation level in the armored dragon clan. If there were no accidents in his life, he would have never become the patriarch and at most would become an elder. However, right now, after being pointed at by Wang Lin, a huge wave was set off within the youth. His body trembled and his eyes filled with ecstasy. He excitedly got up, took a step forward and respectfully clasped his hands. Then, "Thank you, young emperor. From now on, the armored dragon clan will follow all of young emperor's orders, even if you ask for the clan's destruction. Junior." Wang Lin waved his hand and interrupted his words. He slowly said, "Bring all of your dragon collapse pills, blazing fire mutation crystals and puppets. I want them all." The young man quickly nodded. Forget asking for just these treasures. Even if Wang Lin wanted the origin soul of the armored dragon clan members, he wouldn't hesitate to personally get them. To become the patriarch of the armored dragon clan was a great fortune for this young man. At this moment, he had already forgotten the death of the previous patriarch. He was immersed in his own excitement and had the intent to kiss up to Wang Lin. The middle-aged man clasped his hands at Wang Lin and smiled. "Young emperor, I have to head back and report to the great emperor." With that, he waved his hand, took out a jade, and respectfully handed it to Wang Lin. "Lord Young Emperor, the great emperor gives this jade token to you. This represents your identity. It is equal to the great emperor descending himself. No one will dare to take advantage of you in the fallen land. Great emperor also said you need to come to the fallen elder selection in 3 months." After the messenger handed over the token, he clasped his hands and disappeared into the distance. Wang Lin held up the jade token and carefully looked at it. The jade token was made from very common materials and only had the word emperor on it. The word was completed in one stroke and gave off an ancient aura. But there was clearly a strange force coming from the word. Outside the fallen land in the ancient star system, when Master Simo's avatar died, deep within the spatial crack Master Simo was in, his original body opened his eyes. The moment his eyes opened, bright light shined like a ray of lightning flashing across the void. Thunderous rumbles echoed as if the entire void was going to collapse. There was a violent aura erupting from his body. It formed a storm that quickly spread. Master Simo's clothes danced and his long hair waved. His eyes were as gloomy, and the light from his eyes slowly dissipated. What remained was coldness and killing intent. The death of his avatar didn't affect his cultivation much. He had refined that avatar to help him break through when his cultivation became stagnant. However, the death of his avatar had destroyed the plan he had been working on for a very long time. As a result, it was tantamount to destroying countless years of his effort. Fallen Land's great emperor. Master Simo gnawed his teeth, his expression ferocious. There is also that junior thunder cultivator. Aside from the thunder essence, he also has a hint of fire essence. Also, how did he know my name from the past? Could he be from the inner realm? Master Simo's eyes lit up as he raised his right hand and tore down. The void rumbled violently and a gap was ripped open. Master Simo stood up and walked forward with his right hand pressed down. He roared, "7-colored God void nails appear." 7-colored light came out from the gap. The light was intense, and the moment it appeared, it lit up the entire area, causing the whole void to be shrouded in the 7-colored light. 7-colored nails flew out from the gap and floated around Master Simo. A moment later, a total of 29 7-colored nails were floating around him like a ring. At this moment, the 7-colored light was so strong that it was impossible to see his figure, only the 7-colored light. The 7-colored God void nails from the sovereign that can kill third-step cultivators. I'm no match for the great emperor, but if the sovereign council gathers all third-step cultivators, we should be able to kill that person. Everything will depend on the decision of the sovereign council. Master Simo waved his right hand and the 7-colored nails disappeared. He then took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. There was a group of cultivators moving through the fallen land. There were almost 1,000 cultivators with varying cultivation levels. At the center, there were around 10 second-step cultivators around one person. This person was wearing gorgeous clothes and was an old man. His appearance was ordinary, but his expression was extremely gloomy. "Lord Greed, the Dark Scorpion clan's planet is not far ahead. We found out that the 10,000-year scorpion corpse you're searching for is likely there." The old man in the middle looked arrogant and nodded. He proudly said, "Very good. If this turns out to be true, then you will all benefit." After he spoke, the surrounding cultivators all revealed joy. If someone else had said those words, they wouldn't be so happy, but the person who had spoken was Greed. Over the years, who didn't know Greed? Greed would never go anywhere without treasures. These words had been verified time and time again by cultivators. He had also never made any false promises. As for Greed, most of the people of the Fallen Land knew that he had a mysterious origin. No one knew when he had appeared in the Fallen Land, and his cultivation level wasn't that special, only Nirvana Scryer. However, this person had repeatedly made shocking appearances. The pills and treasures he would take out had set of wave after wave in the Fallen Land. Although Greed's cultivation level wasn't high, he was extremely slippery. Adding his strange spells and powerful treasures, he could always protect himself. Even people with higher cultivation levels than him found it difficult to capture him. In particular, this person was good at escaping and had a spell that could increase his speed 97-fold, making it impossible for ordinary cultivators to catch up. Greed was also extremely cautious and often wouldn't hesitate to escape. As a result, he rarely faced danger. As time passed, for some unknown reason, Greed's cultivation level steadily grew, and he had somehow reached the Nirvana Cleanser stage. Then his spells became even more mysterious. He gradually caught the attention of powerful cultivators in some of the clans. They became greedy and pursued Greed. Many thought that Greed would without a doubt die. But then Greed unexpectedly took out a lot of treasures he had never used before. Every treasure had heaven-shaking power. The 3 Nirvana Shatterer cultivators chasing Greed were injured when they were caught off guard by him. One of them was even killed. The remaining 2 fled with serious injuries. This matter set off a huge wave in the Fallen Land. It was too unbelievable. A Nirvana Cleanser cultivation hadn't died under the pursuit of 3 Nirvana Shatterer cultivators, and had even killed one of them. Greed's name swept across the Fallen Land like a storm. But similarly, the clan of the dead Nirvana Shatterer cultivator was furious. Although this clan didn't have a fallen elder, it was still very strong. In order to kill Greed, the clan had sent out a First Heaven's Blight cultivator. A First Heaven's Blight cultivator killing a Nirvana Cleanser cultivator was like a tiger trampling an ant. This matter set off an uproar, and just as everyone was sure Greed was doomed, another miracle happened. Greed took out a treasure. There were many rumors about this treasure later on. Most rumors said that this treasure was a broken statue. The moment the statue appeared, the entire Fallen Land rumbled and clouds filled the star domain. Roars that seemed to come from ancient times echoed, and the First Heaven's Blight cultivator instantly died to this treasure. That destructive force had shaken all the Heaven's Blight cultivators in the Fallen Land. That power was enough to destroy even 3rd Heaven's Blight cultivators. Even Fourth Heaven's Blight cultivators would have to spend a lot of trouble to remain unharmed. However, no one knew if greed had even stronger treasures beside this one. After all, greed owned endless treasures. This treasure was already beyond everyone's imagination. However, could there be a treasure that could instantly kill Nirvana Shatterer and Heaven's Blight cultivators? After this battle, greed became famous. Rumor had it that the great emperor became interested and looked for greed. Greed took this chance to hand over a treasure, and the great emperor gave him a pill to help increase his cultivation. A few years later, after greed reappeared before everyone, he was at the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatterer. His reappearance had caught the attention of many cultivators at the Fourth Heaven's Blight. In secret, a Fourth Heaven's Blight cultivator wanted greed's treasure and attacked him in secret. But in the end, he was seriously injured and was forced to retreat. In the end, no one dared to plot against him anymore. Rumors of greed having many treasures spread. Aside from spells and treasures, greed also had another ability. Wherever he appeared, there would be a heavenly treasure. Even if it was an abandoned planet, he would be able to find some heaven-shaking treasure. It was because of this that the phrase "greed never goes anywhere without treasures" began to spread. Aside from greed's spells and treasures, he also had another quirk. Whenever someone made a strange reaction around him, they would receive his retaliation. This was because of the spell in his body. This greed cultivated an unknown spell, and wherever he went, a foul smell would linger for a long time. At this moment, the 10 cultivators around greed also smelled that almost unbearable stench. However, they didn't dare to reveal it and remained respectful. They moved very fast and soon spotted the planet the Dark Scorpion clan was on. Greed's eyes lit up as he stared at the cultivation planet in the distance. There was excitement in his eyes. Back then, he had almost died to get to the outer realm and had used his own strength to accomplish his current achievements. He was now several times stronger than before, and he had even obtained new treasures. There were even several treasures he had almost given up his life to obtain, and they were incomparably powerful. Today, he was not the same person as he was in the past. If he went back to the inner realm, his status would be extremely high. However, he couldn't get excited, as the stench on his body was like a shadow on his heart. He couldn't smell it anymore. But whenever he saw the expressions of the people around him, it was enough for him to go crazy. He thought of a lot of methods to get rid of this stench, but this smell existed in his origin soul and was fused with his origin soul. No matter what he did, he couldn't get rid of the smell. This pain had tortured him until today. This made his hatred for the All-Seer, Wang Lin, and the Moongazer Serpent reach a peak. All-Seer, if it wasn't for all of you forcing me to go to All Heaven, I wouldn't have ended up in such a miserable state. There is also that Moongazer. This old man vows that I'm going to tear it to shreds. The most important one is that Wang Lin. That person is my nemesis. He robbed me of all my treasures. My teleporting furnace, my ancient thunder dragon, my mountain and river painting, my mountain soul. All the treasures I spent tens of thousands of years gathering were taken by him. Every time Greed thought about this, he felt his heart ache. Aside from his hatred toward Wang Lin, there was a huge shadow over his heart. After encountering Wang Lin a few times, he felt extreme dread toward him. This dread became fear as time passed. Although his cultivation level had increased, this fear didn't dissipate, but became even stronger. He didn't know the reason himself, but every time he thought of Wang Lin, his mind would tremble. My lifelong nemesis. On planet Suzaku, the heaven-defying bead I fancied was taken by him. In the demon spirit land, my cultivation level was clearly higher, but in the end he devoured my ancient thunder dragon. My thunder dragon! It had accompanied me from my childhood, and if I still had it, I could have fused with it to become a thunder cultivator. Then I was forced by All-Seer and them to go to All Heaven to search for Wang Lin. Then, after suffering at the hands of the Moongazer Serpent, I met Wang Lin. He took my furnace, my mountain and river painting, my everything. Then, just as I was about to escape from the Moongazer Serpent, he stopped me and I almost died from serious injuries. However, fortunately, heaven isn't blind and I finally escaped. I managed to land on a cultivation planet. Greed recalled his past, and his encounters with Wang Lin were especially painful. He had sought treasures all his life, but only when facing Wang Lin did he lose all his treasures and almost die. This was a nightmare he couldn't forget. Now I have even more treasures and my cultivation level is much higher. My treasures are even stronger than before. I don't believe you can break out from the inner realm and come to this fallen land to steal my treasures. If this really does happen, then you, Wang Lin, are really my lifelong nemesis. Greed sneered. He didn't think any of these thoughts could become real. In his view, it was completely impossible. This Cloud Escape clan has a treasure that can get rid of the spell in my body. However, I can't take it away. I only stay at the clan until I have studied it enough. Then I can go anywhere I wish. The world is big, so I definitely won't meet him again. Now that I have understood 80% of that treasure, and just need the legendary ancient scorpion corpse from the Dark Scorpion clan, I'm 90% confident in getting rid of this spell. As Greed pondered this, he felt melancholy thinking about everything he had faced so far. My treasures from the past. He is really my nemesis. Good thing this old man is in the outer realm. Now there is no way I will meet him. Otherwise, I fear all my treasures would be taken by him again. Greed's fear for Wang Lin was born from the nightmares he had faced. Even though his cultivation level was higher now, he still couldn't get rid of his fear toward Wang Lin. Just like how a bird that was almost killed by an arrow but survived became stronger, and even became a ruler amongst birds, that injury from the past would forever be buried in its mind. It would tremble from just hearing the sound of a bow. This was a crack on his Tao heart. Unless Greed could kill Wang Lin himself to destroy this nightmare, he would forever be a frightened bird. Wang Lin quickly flew across space. He left the Armored Dragon clan after taking away a lot of the treasures they had accumulated. There were large amount of dragon collapse pills and blazing fire mutation crystal in his storage space. There were also many puppets. The one with the highest cultivation level was at the first Heaven's Blight. These were all of the Armored Dragon clan's savings, and it was all given to Wang Lin by the new patriarch. While flying, Wang Lin's lit up. He had been pondering. During his battle against Master Simo, the mysterious Great Emperor had suddenly appeared and in the end had even given him the title of Young Emperor. Does that Great Emperor have any relation with the Four Divine Sect? If he does, who is he? If he doesn't, why is he treating me like this? Also, all he did was send this jade and showed no intention of meeting me. What is the meaning behind this? Wang Lin frowned and he flew faster and faster. At first he only said 5 breaths of time, which was within my expectations. After all, our battle was likely to catch his attention, and Master Simo had pursued me here. According to the law of the fallen land, he had to be punished and driven out. However, the Great Emperor killed Master Simo's avatar. It would have been fine to just drive him away, but killing expresses a certain attitude. After all, Master Simo is a third-step cultivator. The Great Emperor killed his avatar as a message to the Sovereign Council. It's obvious that the Great Emperor changed his mind. His original plan was only to watch from the side, but in the end he got personally involved. Just what made him change his mind? Wang Lin pondered even more before he suddenly stopped. He thought of one possibility. I have 5 essences in my body, and the Great Emperor has great cultivation, so he might have seen through it. Or he saw the fire essence in the fire crystal. If the Great Emperor is really related to the Four Divine Sect, he should be able to tell at a glance that I have the vermilion bird. Perhaps these 2 possibilities are the real reasons he changed his mind. However, all of this is merely my own speculation. I don't know if any of it is true. Also, he punished the Armored Dragon Patriarch by sending his messenger as a way of displaying his might to me. In the end, he told me to go to the Fallen Elder selection in 3 months. This matter is strange. I'll just have to go in 3 months and see what this Great Emperor's objective is. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he focused himself. He used spatial bending to head toward the Dark Scorpion clan. Greed's group was moving very fast and quickly closed in on the Dark Scorpion clan. These 1,000 cultivators flew across space, creating large amounts of ripples as they closed in on the Dark Scorpion clan's planet. A moment later, the 1,000 rays of light broke through the atmosphere of the planet and charged straight down. Greed was surrounded by the crowd, and he looked arrogant as he descended. The sky above the Dark Scorpion clan changed colors and the clouds shattered. The sky seemed to be torn as ray of light pierced through. The expressions of all the cultivators on the planet changed greatly. They looked at the sky with fear in their eyes. Thunderous rumbles came from the sky, and the earth trembled. It was as if it couldn't withstand the pressure of all the cultivators charging out from the sky. The new location of the Dark Scorpion clan was around the cave Wang Lin was previously cultivating in. Right now, Zhong Big Red was walking around with his hands behind his back, and a serious expression as he scolded some Dark Scorpion clan members. The old man named Zhang followed behind Zhong Big Red and looked respectful, but there was a hint of self-satisfaction in his eyes. This was especially so when he saw the Dark Scorpion clan cultivators who had higher cultivation levels and were trembling at Zhong Big Red's scolding. It's not me wanting to scold you, but look at what you all have done in the last few days. It's already been a few days, but you guys haven't even found a fart. When Master comes back, you all will have to bear the responsibility yourselves. Humph! Zhong Big Red waved his sleeve and let out a cold snort. His cold snort caused the faces of the Dark Scorpion clan members to turn pale. One of them hesitated before clasping his hands and saying, "This matter." Before he finished speaking, his expression changed greatly and he looked up at the sky. At this moment, every member of the Dark Scorpion clan looked up at the sky in shock. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch was sitting in the valley outside Wang Lin's cave when he suddenly opened his eyes in horror and flew into the air. Zhong Big Red was also startled and he looked up at the sky. His face turned pale and became filled with horror. The old man named Zhang also gasped and was stunned. Ripples covered the sky as if it was the sea, and monstrous waves were set off. The rays of sword energy created a powerful howl as they closed in. This sound was weak at first but soon became heaven-shaking. A loud voice came from the 1,000 rays of sword energy and echoed across the planet. The Cloud Escape clan wants to search for something, and is borrowing the planet for 3 months. Dark Scorpion clan, leave immediately. The expression of the Dark Scorpion Patriarch changed greatly and he immediately said, "Cloud Escape clan, what are you planning to do? Although my Dark Scorpion clan is small, it is still a member of the Fallen Council. You all." However, before he could finish speaking, a cold snort descended from the sky. Noisy. This word was cold and soon suppressed all other sounds. At the same time, a person walked out from the group of 1,000 cultivators. The moment this person appeared, his cultivation activated and a stench came from his body. This stench was too powerful, and as it spread, the Dark Scorpion Patriarch quickly retreated as he exclaimed, "Greed!" This stench was powerful and it lingered. As it surrounded the earth, it caused a large amount of the Dark Scorpion clan members to almost vomit. Zhong Big Red's cultivation was lacking, and he didn't know Greed's identity, so he directly vomited. His vomiting caused Greed's expression to become extremely gloomy. He waved his sleeve and a large fan appeared. The fan glowed and swung forward. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the earth trembled and mountains collapsed. Even Wang Lin's cave collapsed. The Dark Scorpion clan members weren't able to withstand this wind and coughed out blood. They were mercilessly thrown back like lonely leaves in the wind. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch struggled bitterly, but he couldn't help and was being slowly pushed back. The earth collapsed and the sky seemed to be torn. The old man named Zhang coughed out blood and went into a coma. He was thrown far away and not a trace of him could be seen. The might of the fan shocked all the cultivators here. Zhong Big Red was being held by a powerful force and was brought directly before Greed. The closer he got to Greed, the stronger the stench. Being assaulted by this stench made his expression extremely ugly. Greed stared at Zhong Big Red and slowly asked, "Stinky? Not stinky, not stinky." Zhong Big Red's mind trembled and he endured the stench. He was afraid this person wouldn't believe him, so he took a deep breath and pretended to be intoxicated by the spell. However, this was like drawing feet on snake, which caused him to vomit once more. Seeing the killing intent in Greed's eyes, Zhong Big Red struggled to scream, "My master's cultivation is heaven-defying. If you kill me, you will without a doubt die. Not even the Dark Scorpion Patriarch can withstand one blow from my master. Although your cultivation level is high, you're not his match." Greed sneered. At this moment of life and death, Zhong Big Red risked it all and roared, "Master must be on his way back and could be back at any time. If you dare to touch me, you will without a doubt die." The Dark Scorpion clan became my master's slaves because they injured me. You will be the same. His cultivation is heaven-defying? If you hadn't said anything, it would have been fine. But now this old man will have to see how powerful your master is. Since the slave offended this old man, the master is also at fault. Anyone who provokes my bottom line must die. Greed waved his right hand and a surge of origin energy entered Zhong Big Red's body. Zhong Big Red coughed out blood as if his whole body was going to collapse. Then he fell not far away. If you guys were part of the Dark Scorpion clan, then it would really be inconvenient to kill you both. But since that's not the case, I really want to see how your master will kill me. Greed waved his sleeve and a huge gust of wind swept all the Dark Scorpion clan members off the planet. After doing this, Greed waved his sleeve and he arrogantly said to the Cloud Escape clan, "All of you accompany this old man to wait for this slave's master. I'll let you all see the might of my treasures. To see this old man use his treasures in your lifetime is your great fortune. This old man's treasures are powerful and few people can compare. Seeing this old man kill a Heaven's Blight cultivator is something you all will never forget." Greed's voice was extremely arrogant. He waved his hand and 9 ancient stone tablets appeared before him, causing the sky to change colors. He waved again and 99 swords appeared, giving off monstrous sword energy. With another wave, he seemed to sprinkle green light. When the green light fell on the earth, the ground began to shake and a dense forest formed. All of this caused the Cloud Escape clan members to become excited. They had always dreamt about seeing Greed use his treasures. Lord Greed's treasures are famous in the Fallen Land. We are honored to see them in action and might comprehend something from them. Rumor has it that Lord Greed's treasures can kill Heaven's Blight cultivators. This kind of things has never happened before, and I don't know what kind of treasures have earth-shattering power like this. Today I can finally see it myself. Lord Greed has many treasures, and no one knows how many he has. To be able to personally witness it them indeed a good fortune. The surrounding Cloud Escape clan cultivators were all excited and nodded in agreement. Zhong Big Red stared at the sky, feeling terrified. He didn't know Greed's identity, but when he saw the surrounding cultivators, his heart fell. Greed had an arrogant expression as he waved his right hand, and a roar came from the forest below him. It was as if the entire forest had become alive and twisted. What appeared before everyone made them gasp. The large forest suddenly sat up. What forest was this? It was clearly a large creature formed by trees. Large trees gathered to form a giant tree man who slowly stood up. This tree man was tens of thousands of feet tall and gave off a powerful aura. As it stood up, it caused the earth to tremble violently. Greed's body flickered and then he stood on the head of the treeman. His expression became even more arrogant. Then a thunderous rumble echoed before him and a large rift appeared. A giant furnace slowly flew out and floated beside him. Emperor Furnace. This is one of the rumored treasures of Greed, the Emperor Furnace. I heard that when Greed was still at the Nirvana Cleanser stage, he used this treasure against the 3 Nirvana Shatterer cultivators that were pursuing him. He killed one and seriously injured 2. Greed waved his right hand once more and black fog appeared. It eventually shrank into a lance. This lance was made of fog and gave off a powerful destructive aura. The appearance of all these treasures shook all the surrounding cultivators, and they couldn't help but look at Greed in awe. Even Zhong Big Red began to panic and felt bitterness in his heart. Greed enjoyed these gazes a lot. When he received these gazes, he could forget the stench on his body and the humiliation he had suffered from Wang Lin. These are only a few of this old man's many treasures. I haven't even taken out my more powerful treasures yet. This old man has many treasures, not even third-step cultivators can compare. You're all privileged to see just how long that Heaven's Blight cultivator can survive before me. Greed's mighty voice echoed and the surrounding cultivators became even more excited. Zhong Big Red's expression became pale and he thought, "It's over. It's over. I didn't expect him to have so many treasures, and they all look so powerful." From the expressions of the people around him, he has killed Heaven's Blight cultivators before, and is very famous in the Fallen Land. It's over. It's over. Just at this moment, the treeman under Greed suddenly looked up and its eyes revealed a monstrous green light. Greed was filled with arrogance as he looked up at the sky. The treasures surrounding him rumbled loudly and showed signs of activating. The surrounding cultivators all looked up excitedly at the sky. They were waiting to see the might of greed's treasures. Ripples appeared in the sky. This became the center of everyone's gazes. Then a figure slowly appeared. This figure was slightly blurry, but a feeling of indifference filled the world. Greed's expression was extremely arrogant, but when he saw the vague figure, his body trembled and his pupils shrank. His mind rumbled as his mouth opened wide and disbelief filled his eyes. He subconsciously rubbed his eyes to take a closer look, and this caused his expression to change greatly. He could never have guessed even in his dreams to see the source of his fear. The person that had stolen his treasures and become his nightmare, Wang Lin. This is impossible. My vision must have become blurry. Greed's heart rumbled and his body was covered in cold sweat as a huge wave was set off in his heart. His entire body was shaking, and when the figure became more clear, Greed took another look. An explosion echoed in his mind as his eyes widened and overflowed with disbelief. His nightmares erupted in his mind. The ancient thunder dragon being stolen, the furnace being stolen, the mountain and river painting being stolen, the mountain soul being stolen. All the memories of his treasures being stolen filled his heart before fear and shock submerged it all. It's him. How could he be here? It's impossible, it's impossible. He was in the inner realm, so how could he be out here? Nemesis, he is my nemesis. He must know that I have a new set of treasures and came to steal from me. All of this happened in a flash. The moment the figure walked out, everyone was excitedly looking at Greed, expecting him to take out a treasure to instantly kill this person. Greed let out a scream. It was mournful and earth-shattering. He didn't hesitate to retreat and activate a spell to increase his speed over 90-fold. He moved at a speed faster than the naked eye could see or divine sense could lock on as he escaped. The speed of his escape was unimaginable, like a startled bird. He didn't even have time to collect the treasures he had taken out. This was too sudden, and all the cultivators, including Big Red, were all stunned. What kind of spell is Lord Greed using? He sure is fast. He disappeared in a flash. Could it be some setup before taking out some powerful treasure? His scream just now, it's as if something went wrong. As if he had encountered something terrifying. Why do I feel like Lord Greed is escaping? Greed! Wang Lin's figure walked out from the world, and he was also startled. Wang Lin never thought he would see Greed in the ancient star system. In his memory, Greed should have died to the moongazer serpent. The moment Wang Lin saw Greed, even with his mental fortitude, he was stunned for a moment. When he looked again, Greed had already escaped without a trace, leaving behind 1,000 dumbfounded cultivators. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. It was impossible for Greed to break through the sealed realm formation with his cultivation level. Yet he was here now. Greed's speed was also extremely quick, which even startled Wang Lin. In the blink of an eye, he had already escaped from the planet and didn't even have time to put away his treasures. The giant treeman formed by the forest just stood there. After losing Greed's control, it no longer had any destructive power. Beside the giant treeman, there was also a giant furnace. It gave off an ancient aura. One could feel its terrifying aura without even getting too close. On the other side there was also a lance made of fog. It hadn't completely taken form. It was turning from lance to fog and then lance again. It would often change at least 100 times in one breath. There were still 9 giant stone tablets that seemed to form a formation. They gave off a ghostly light and seemed to form a powerful protection. There were also 99 flying swords circling the area. The howls of their sword energy made it seem like countless dragons were circling the area. Wang Lin's gaze swept past all these treasures. He took a deep breath and his pupils shrank. This Greed. I haven't seen him in many years, and he has gotten so many incredible treasures. Wang Lin didn't even look at the 1,000 cultivators before his hand mercilessly reached down. A giant hand covered the sky and descended. The 99 swords began to tremble. It was as if the hand contained a powerful magnetic force, and it absorbed the 99 swords. After grabbing the 99 swords, Wang Lin opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of essence origin energy. The energy swept over the 99 swords like wind and Greed's divine sense imprints quickly collapsed. While Greed's divine sense was being wiped away from the 99 swords, far away from the cultivation planet, Greed was escaping with a look of panic on his face, and he was in a sorry state. When he saw Wang Lin, there was no thought in his mind, he didn't even think about escaping. His subconscious fear of Wang Lin erupted, and he immediately escaped at full force. He feared that if he was too slow that all his treasures would be taken one by Wang Lin. All of this happened in an instant. After he escaped, he suddenly became sober. He stopped, and his expression was filled with uncertainty. This old man is now several times stronger than before. My treasures are also even stronger than before, and I can fight Heaven's Blight cultivators. That Wang Lin is merely a junior, but why did I run? Greed clenched his teeth and recalled what had happened. Anger grew in his heart. He wasn't angry at Wang Lin, but at himself. This old man is no longer going to run. I'm going to kill Wang Lin and get my revenge. Killing intent appeared in Greed's eyes and he turned around, about to head back. However, just at this moment his expression changed greatly. His body trembled and his pupils shrank. The divine sense on the 99 swords has been erased by force. Damn it, what cultivation level is Wang Lin at to be able to erase my divine sense by force? Greed paused, his expression as gloomy as water. He once again recalled the nightmares from the past. Thoughts flashed through his eyes and he charged toward Wang Lin. However, he only took 3 steps before he stopped. His face turned pale and he became filled with shock. The Bone Protection 9 tablets divine sense has been erased by force. I found the tablets outside that mysterious tomb, and they hadn't had divine sense imprinted on them for tens of thousands of years. My divine sense was completely integrated so no ordinary person could easily erase it. How did he erase my divine sense in such a short period of time? Greed began to hesitate. He had a feeling that Wang Lin's cultivation was not simple. I hate myself for escaping too soon. I didn't have time to check Wang Lin's cultivation level. However, even if he took the stone tablets and flying swords, I still have the Emperor Furnace, the Fog Devil Lance, and the Heaven Burial Wood Spirit. He can't take them away in a short period of time. Greed had a ferocious expression as he flew along the path he came from. However, after only 3 breaths of time, a popping sound echoed in Greed's body. He coughed out blood, his face turned pale, and his expression changed greatly. The Fog Devil Lance has been taken. Greed was terrified and fear washed over his mind. At this moment he no longer had any thoughts of looking for trouble with Wang Lin. The thought of escaping occupied his mind once more. Without hesitation, Greed turned around and escaped into the distance at more than 90 times his normal speed. Nemesis, nemesis. That damn Wang Lin is my nemesis. Greed's words were filled with bitterness, a powerful reluctance and anger, but even more was a sense of being wronged. He had escaped the Moongazer after almost certain death and had found great opportunities. He had obtained more powerful treasures and thought he could shake the world. However, before he got to enjoy this good life, he encountered Wang Lin again. Greed felt sadness coming from his heart and let out a roar as he escaped. After several breaths, Greed's body trembled and he roared and he coughed out blood again. His body was unstable as he quickly escaped. Damn nemesis! He even stole my Emperor Furnace. My Emperor Furnace! Greed's heart stung. It was as if a hand had reached into his chest and taken a chunk of his flesh. I shouldn't have taken out so many treasures before the Cloud Escape clan. If I had only taken out one or none at all. Greed regretted what he had done as he escaped with a pale expression. He escaped very fast and soon he was far away from the planet Wang Lin was on. He flew deep into the fallen land. On the Dark Scorpion clan's planet, Wang Lin's giant hand swept by. After taking the 9 stone tablets, the fog lance and the large furnace, his gaze fell on the giant treeman on the ground. The treasures Greed had are far more powerful than before. Just these 99 words are far stronger than the ones from the Slaughter Realm. Also, these 9 tablets are made of bones and contain a powerful aura. More importantly, the fog lance has the aura of an ancient devil. Its aura is extremely ancient. It has probably existed for tens of thousands of years, or even more. As for the furnace, this object is not simple at all. The method Greed imprinted his divine sense on it is completely wrong. Just like with the ancient god furnace, he merely controlled some surface functions. This thing has great relation to the ancient demons. Although it has no demonic energy, I can vaguely feel that it's related to ancient demons. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he controlled the giant hand to reach for the dumbfounded treeman that was just standing there. When Wang Lin's hand landed on the treeman, a rumble echoed, but the treeman remained unharmed. Instead, the hand Wang Lin had created was knocked back and a green energy came from the treeman. Under its impact, the hand formed by Wang Lin was torn to pieces. There was a flash of joy in Wang Lin's eyes. He didn't expect the treeman to have such a protective ability. That palm just now was enough to kill a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. But not only was the treeman not damaged, it had even counterattacked. It has to be said that there was no one controlling the treasures. If someone was controlling them, the power of the treasures would increase. Most of my treasures came from greed. Greed is extremely lucky and is blessed by the heavens. His treasures are enough to shock most cultivators. Wang Lin spat out a mouthful of essence origin energy, and it surrounded the treeman. Then Wang Lin waved his sleeve and put the treeman into his storage space. After doing all of this, he looked at the 1,000 cultivators that were shocked and terrified by his actions. He let out a cold snort and raised his right hand, revealing a jade token. Any of you recognize this? One of the old men who saw the jade immediately trembled and disbelief filled his eyes. He took a closer look before his face turned ashen, and he exclaimed, "Emperor token! Before I come back, not a single one of you can leave. All of you wait here." Wang Lin's cold voice echoed as he pointed at the excited Zhong Big Red not far away and said, "Follow his orders." After leaving his order, Wang Lin charged into the sky. Ripples appeared. Then he took a step and disappeared without a trace. In the space of the fallen land, greed was running like crazy, cursing nonstop on the way. This was the only way to make himself feel better. Otherwise, thinking about how his treasures were going to be taken by the same person again, he would go crazy. While he was galloping, ripples echoed before greed. When he saw the ripple, his expression changed greatly and he changed directions without hesitation. Then his hand reached out and a yellow leaf the size of his palm appeared. The moment the leaf appeared, greed grabbed it and threw it at the ripples. One leaf seals the heavens. This yellow leaf looked very ordinary, without anything strange about it. However, the moment it flew close to the ripples, a powerful yellow light came from it along with a powerful sealing force. In an instant, the yellow leaf seemed to increase in size countless fold and sealed off the ripples. No matter how much the ripples struggled, they couldn't escape the range of the leaf. After greed threw out the leaf, he didn't dare to look at the result. As he charged forward, there was a flash of purple light and 2 clouds of purple fog formed at his feet. The fog churned and vague, mournful cries could be heard. They formed 2 giant purple shadows, each with the appearance of an ancient devil. Standing on 2 devils, greed moved even faster and disappeared without a trace. Just as he disappeared, Wang Lin walked out from the ripples that were sealed by the leaf. His expression was gloomy, and after he appeared, he threw a punch that collided with the leaf. This created a thunderous, heaven-shaking rumble, but the leaf didn't move at all. A rebound force came from it toward Wang Lin. What kind of leaf is this? Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he didn't resist it by force. Instead, he used spatial bending to go around the leaf and continue chasing greed. After Wang Lin left, the ripples gradually disappeared. The leaf gave off a yellow glow and also disappeared. Greed was rapidly escaping in space while the 2 devilish shadows roared angrily. As he flew, his eyes lit up and he suddenly waved his right hand. The leaf he had thrown out earlier appeared before him. Looking at the leaf, greed revealed a hint of pride. This old man's leaf can seal the heavens. Even a 5th heaven's blight cultivator would have some trouble breaking free from it. I doubt Wang Lin has reached the 5th heaven's blight. Greed withdrew the leaf and quickly charged into the distance. After a moment, he sneered and waved his hand. The leaf charged into the void before him. The moment the leaf stopped, ripples echoed once more. Greed had used some unknown method to find out when Wang Lin would arrive and his exact location. This old man's escape spells are the most powerful, and few people can compare. If not for these escape skills, I would have been killed several times already with my own treasures. Greed let out a cold snort and quickly escaped. However, just at this instant, a ray of blood light appeared in the distance. At a glance, the blood light was in the distance, but the next instant, it filled the endless void. The blood light instantly closed in. Greed's expression changed greatly and he didn't have time to dodge. He only saw the blood light rush over. This scene was shocking. The blood light looked like a big mouth, and it instantly closed in on Greed to devour him. As the blood light passed through Greed, popping sounds echoed and the sound of two pieces of metal colliding spread like crazy. A mournful cry echoed, and after the blood light passed, Greed was thrown far back. He coughed out a large mouthful of blood and his face was pale. Under his clothes there was a flash of light. He was unexpectedly wearing armor under his clothes. At this moment, a large amount of cracks appeared on his armor and quickly spread. The blood sword was knocked back several hundred feet. After Greed was thrown back, the two devilish shadows under his feet turned into black gas and surrounded his body. They formed a black storm around him and rapidly escaped. All of this happened in a flash. As Greed escaped with the black storm, Wang Lin walked out from the area the leaf was sealing. Without hesitation, Wang Lin grabbed the leaf with his hand. Greed, who was seriously injured, could obviously no longer control the leaf. After Wang Lin caught the leaf, he placed a large amount of restrictions on it. He had no time to study it now, so he threw it into his storage space. When he raised his head, Greed had already disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin's expression was cold, but there was a hint of excitement within it. Interesting. Greed does indeed have a lot of treasures. Every time I meet him, I obtain a lot of treasures from him. Last time he lost almost all his treasures to me and I thought he had died. I didn't expect to see him again, and he has even more treasures now. I understand his personality a bit. Unless he is pushed to the limit, he rarely takes out all his treasures like he did on the Cultivation planet. He usually only takes them out one by one. He also has a lot of secrets. Forget how he got all these treasures. Just the method he used to enter the ancient star system is something I must know. Wang Lin leaned forward and suddenly disappeared. Two people flew through space, one escaping and one chasing, causing a thunderous rumble across the fallen land. This caught the attention of the fallen land, but after they saw the speed the two people were traveling at, they decided to just ignore these two. To be able to move at such speeds meant that their cultivation levels were extremely high. While escaping, Greed cursed bitterly. Wang Lin was easily keeping up with him, and he had no way of shaking Wang Lin off. Greed had more or less seen through Wang Lin's cultivation and knew he couldn't fight. However, he didn't wish to be caught. While rushing away, Greed's expression changed and he felt a fluctuation to the right. He changed directions and clenched his teeth. His right hand reached out and a black jade bottle appeared in his hand. This jade bottle was cold and gave off powerful devilish energy. There were also images carved on the bottle. They were all images of ancient devils. Greed spat out blood on the jade bottle and roared, "Lend me 300 devil souls, and after killing this person I'll offer the souls of 30,000 creatures." Just as his blood touched the jade bottle, the blood was absorbed. At the same time, two thorns stuck out from where Greed was holding the bottle. The two thorns stabbed into Greed's body and began absorbing large amounts of blood. All of this happened in an instant. After the bottle absorbed enough blood, the bottle released a satisfying sigh. At the same time, a large amount of black fog came out from the jade bottle. The jade bottle was like a volcano that was ready to erupt. The black fog quickly flew out and turned into ferocious devil souls. Each of these devil souls had a single horn. They were obviously ancient devils. These ancient devils' eyes were filled with endless madness and resentment, as if they were experiencing unimaginable suffering. They let out angry cries the moment they appeared. Mournful cries came from these devils. It was heaven-shaking. In the blink of an eye, 300 devil souls flew out and surrounded Greed. Every single devil soul gave off the aura of a first heaven's blight cultivator. They rotated around Greed, forming a heaven-shaking devil storm. Devilish energy filled the area. The storm held as it charged through space. At this moment, ripples appeared, and before Wang Lin's figure even walked out, the storm charged at him. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. He immediately recognized the ancient devils inside the storm. These ancient devils were extremely similar to Ta Jia. The only difference was that these ancient devils' left eyes didn't have stars. Instead, there was a cloudy airflow in them, and when Wang Lin saw this, the ancient god stars between his eyebrows began to rotate on their own. Ancient god aura. Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed. He clearly sensed that the cloudy airflow inside the eyes of the ancient devil souls were formed by ancient god energy. These 300 ancient devils were sealed by a powerful ancient god. In a flash, Wang Lin's mind was clear. As the storm closed in, popping sounds echoed inside Wang Lin's body and he let out a roar. Roar! This wasn't a roar formed by a spell, but the roar of an ancient god. The stars between Wang Lin's eyebrow rotated rapidly, sending ancient god energy to his body and creating this heaven-shattering roar. The storm was stopped by the power of the roar. It unexpectedly stopped and didn't dare to move forward. The 300 ancient devil souls were filled with indescribable fear when they felt the ancient god aura within the roar. They recalled the past hidden in their memories, and the storm collapsed on its own. The 300 ancient devil souls scattered in all directions. All of this happened too fast, so fast that Greed couldn't react at all. He couldn't understand why his treasure had collapsed with just a roar. I finally know where you found these treasures. I didn't think you would be able to get there. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with ecstasy as he stepped toward Greed. Nemesis. He is my nemesis. Even my treasures are all countered. Greed screamed as he quickly retreated. Seeing Wang Lin close in on him, he mercilessly threw the jade bottle in another direction. He had done this before. After he arrived in the ancient star system, every time he thought about what happened, his heart ached like crazy. He vowed in his life to never throw away a treasure to distract someone while escaping. In his view, having his treasure taken was worse than him being killed. For example, the ancient god furnace and the ancient thunder dragon. If he knew that the furnace had saved Wang Lin many times, if he knew that it was the ancient thunder dragon that had allowed Wang Lin to become a thunder cultivator, become famous across all heaven, and give birth to the thunder essence, if he knew all of this, he would definitely cough out blood and almost die from the heartache. This old man has had great opportunities, and is favored by heaven itself, graced by the heavens. When I was 8, I dug up a 500-year-old yellow essence and devoured it. At the age of 13, I fell off a cliff and landed next to a 500-year-old vermilion fruit. At the age of 18, when I reached the foundation establishment stage, I obtained the ancient thunder dragon. At the core formation stage, when fighting a powerful enemy I was no match for, a giant furnace fell from the sky and smashed the enemy to death. After that, my path had always been smooth. The mountain and river painting, the mountain soul, the soul needle, and such were all obtained one by one without trouble. Only time my path wasn't smooth, which was when I pursued the heaven-defying bead. Then I met this nemesis that took away all my treasures and everything I had spent so much effort gathering. However, I was still lucky and didn't die. Instead, I got even more treasures while adventuring and became strong. However, this damned Wang Lin didn't let me go and came to the ancient star system. As Greed recalled his life, his face was filled with grief and indignation. He was still retreating. Wang Lin revealed a smile that wasn't a smile and stepped forward. When he saw Greed throw the bottle in the other direction, he stopped his pursuit. Instead, he charged at the bottle. When Greed saw Wang Lin change directions, he waved his hand. A large flag appeared in his hand. This flag was golden, and the golden light lit up the void. There was a strange beast embroidered on this flag. It had the body of a dragon but no claws. Instead, it had many pairs of wings, with half its body in the clouds as if it were flying. After taking out this flag, Greed mercilessly waved and a thunderous roar came out from inside the flag. The beast seemed to become alive. It immediately flew out from the flag and wrapped around Greed. They turned into a dark cloud and flew away even faster than before. Wang Lin ignored Greed and quickly caught up to the jade bottle. He waved his sleeve and put the bottle away. He laughed as he turned around and chased after Greed using spatial bending. This Greed is my lucky star. Wang Lin laughed as he disappeared. Greed's body was wrapped by the clouds and was surrounded by that strange beast. The beast had almost 100 pairs of wings, and every time they moved, its speed would increase greatly. They escaped at a speed too fast for the naked eye to follow. Ripples followed after them. The ripples were like the waves of the sea. Inside the ripples, Wang Lin's figure was chasing after them, moving faster and faster. However, Greed's speed had reached its limit, allowing him to maintain a certain distance from Wang Lin. Even thought Wang Lin's thunder essence was complete, even with the power of thunder, Wang Lin wouldn't be able to catch up in a short period of time. However, Wang Lin was in no rush. To be able to meet someone from home was a joyous thing. At this moment, Wang Lin was very happy. Meeting Greed had made him happy and surprised. In particular, Wang Lin had already seen that all of Greed's treasures were related to the 3 ancient order clans, and he had identified where Greed had obtained those treasures. For others, that place might not be useful, but to Wang Lin, it was an unimaginably good fortune. As for Greed, who had given Wang Lin this great fortune, the more Wang Lin looked at him, the more pleasing Greed looked. A ghost is haunting me. A ghost is haunting me. Greed felt pain from his chest as if needles were constantly stabbing him. The source of this pain was personally seeing treasures being stolen from him. He stole the Starling Swords, the Protection Bone Tablets, the Emperor Furnace, the Fog Devil Lance, and didn't even let go of the Ancient Wood Spirit. Even the Ancient Stop Leaf and the Devil's Soul Bottle were taken by force. Half of my treasures have become his, and that damn Wang Lin still won't let me go. He won't rest until he has taken all my treasures. The more Greed thought about this, the more sad and indignant he felt. As anger rushed into his heart, he clenched his teeth and decided not to run. He turned around and viciously started at Wang Lin. This old man isn't going to run anymore. I am going to go all out and fight you. Greed's eyes were red. He was a vicious person who had killed many. If not for the fact that he was terrified of Wang Lin, as well as the crack in his Dao heart that made Wang Lin his nightmare, he wouldn't have fled without fighting. And he wouldn't have been in such a sorry state. Now that he was forced by Wang Lin, he had forgotten the nightmare for an instant. His hands formed a seal and a giant spatial rift appeared in the void. Demonic wolf, descend and punish the heavens. As Greed roared this, his clothes fluttered and his hair moved without any wind. Monstrous demonic energy came from the rift before him. Wang Lin was extremely familiar with this demonic aura. It was the aura of an ancient demon. Demonic energy charged out from the spatial rift along with the red mist. The red mist quickly entered Greed's body through his orifices. Bursts of painful cries came from Greed's mouth. The veins in his body swelled up and his face was twisted due to the pain. The clothes on his body shattered, revealing a dark-colored suit of armor. The space behind him seemed to twist and a 100,000-foot shadow slowly appeared behind him. This shadow was a wolf. A demonic wolf. The moment the demonic wolf appeared, the demonic energy in the area increased. A vortex appeared with Greed as the center and swept the surrounding area. Everything within 50,000 kilometers became part of the vortex, and a thunderous rumble came from inside it. The demonic wolf at the center of the vortex gave off a red glow. Its eyes were almost purple, and it let out a howl. Its howl was heaven-shaking, enough to cause the heart of any creature that heard it to tremble. A sense of fear would arise from their soul. Ancient demon. Wang Lin's expression became serious, as the demonic energy forced him out from being merged with the world. The moment he appeared, the demonic wolf let out a howl and stared at Wang Lin before suddenly charging forward. From Wang Lin's point of view, it was like a demonic meteor smashing toward him. The vortex shrank, which made it look as if the demonic wolf had become a bottomless pit. As the demonic energy within 50,000 kilometers condensed toward the vortex, a powerful suction force was created. It was very difficult for anyone to retreat from this suction force. All of this happened too fast. In the blink of an eye, the demonic world closed in and attempted to devour Wang Lin. You stole my treasures back then, damn it. Now you came to steal from me again, damn it. I have never been humiliated like this in my life. You deserve to die. 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 Greed's voice was almost insane. Wang Lin's expression was calm and he let out a cold snort. As the giant demonic wolf closed in, popping sounds came from his body. His body expanded to more than 10,000 feet tall, and he became an 6-star ancient god. The ancient god's stars rapidly rotated between his eyebrows as he took a step back and raised his right hand. He let out a roar and monstrous blood light appeared. From afar, it was as if Wang Lin was holding endless blood light. The blood light was dazzling and turned into a 1,000-foot ancient blood sword in Wang Lin's hand. Holding the blood sword when the demonic wolf was less than 100 feet away, Wang Lin's right hand chopped down. The 1,000-foot blood sword suddenly descended and the blood light extended 10,000 feet. From afar, it didn't look like Wang Lin was using a sword but a blood whip. It collided with the demonic wolf. A thunderous rumble echoed when the blood-red light landed on the demonic wolf's head. The wolf let out a mournful cry as it had left a large crack on its head. The blood light quickly broke all obstacles, causing the crack to extend deeper. And finally, it penetrated the demonic wolf's body. One strike had split the demonic wolf in half. The body of the demonic wolf that was split in half fell past Wang Lin's body and dissipated among the stars. Only its reluctant roars echoed in this world. Wang Lin's expression remained neutral as he looked down at Greed. Fear filled Greed's eyes and he retreated while letting out a scream. He waved his right hand and took out his most powerful treasure without hesitation. It was a broken wood carving. However, just as the wood carving appeared, Wang Lin's calm voice echoed across the stars. "Stop!" Greed's body suddenly stopped and he could not move an inch. The fear in his eyes increased greatly. "Don't be afraid. Answer a few of my questions and I won't kill you." I actually forgot he could use this extremely domineering stop spell. A huge wave was set off in Greed's heart and fear filled his eyes. This nemesis is too despicable. He had this spell, but didn't use it before and waited until I took out my most powerful treasure to extinguish my last hope. Greed's body and origin soul were completely frozen. He was unable to move an inch and could only watch as Wang Lin closed in. The broken statue gave off no aura and silently floated on Greed's right side. Wang Lin's body gradually shrank as he moved forward. When he arrived before Greed, he had already turned to the size of a normal person. He didn't pay attention to Greed but grabbed the broken statue. After seeing Wang Lin taking his most powerful treasure, Greed felt as if a sword had pierced his heart. Once, twice, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of times, the sword pierced his heart, causing Greed intense pain until blood flew down from the corner of his mouth. "It's just a treasure. I believe Senior Greed won't be stingy. Back then, Senior gave me a lot of treasures, and now that we meet again, I'll gladly accept these." Wang Lin smiled as he carefully looked at the broken statue. Wang Lin's expression changed as he looked at the statue. This statue looked very ordinary and there were many damaged parts. It was a carving of a person, but they had a strange appearance. This person looked like a middle-aged man wearing a cloud pattern robe. He had a plain appearance but gave off a sense of majesty. The sense of majesty wasn't strong and didn't terrify you, but when Wang Lin's gaze made contact with the statue's gaze, his entire body trembled. His body trembled. The space before Wang Lin disappeared and everything was torn apart. An indescribable force rushed out from the statue's eyes and entered Wang Lin's mind. The world rumbled in Wang Lin's ears and even space itself was torn apart. The entire world collapsed into the void and Wang Lin, impacted by the blow, was lost in this confusion. After an unknown amount of time, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, until one day Wang Lin saw a continent in the void. This continent was boundless. Wang Lin was enlightened. He felt that this continent's size far exceeded the entire ancient star system. Even adding the inner and outer realms together, they wouldn't be even cover 1/10,000 of the continent. Everything he saw in his mind dissipated and turned into nothingness. Wang Lin's body trembled and he awakened. Space was still that space, the world was still the same world. Greed's eyes were filled with fear and he couldn't move due to the stop spell. Wang Lin silently pondered. It didn't matter how many years he had spent in that mysterious state, because after he awakened, Wang Lin realized that it was only an instant. If there was really a time, then it would be the moment his gaze met the gaze of the statue. Was it an illusion? Wang Lin revealed a complicated expression. He didn't understand, but what he saw just now was deeply imprinted in his heart. He could never forget it in his life. That? What is it? Wang Lin's gaze fell on the statue once more. This second time was different than before. The seemingly ordinary statue seemed to have changed and gave off an indescribable sense of majesty. This majesty could make any cultivator before it feel like an ant. Even the world had to yield. Wang Lin even had a vague feeling that even third-step cultivators would tremble before the statue. Who the hell is he? Wang Lin silently pondered. Out of all the statues he had seen in his life, only Qing Lin's statue in the demon spirit land could break down one's mind. Although this statue didn't dismantle one's mind, Wang Lin had a vague feeling that Qing Lin's statue was like an ant before this statue. The statue was only an ordinary middle-aged man. The man was looking up with a calm expression. There was no emotion being shown. Where did you obtain this statue? Wang Lin was still looking at the statue and not at Greed when he spoke. As he spoke, he waved his hand which loosened the stop spell on Greed so he could speak. Greed silently pondered for a moment before letting out a sigh and saying, "In an ancient tomb. In order to enter the ancient star system, you have to break the ceiling realm formation, which is impossible with your cultivation level. How did you get here?" Wang Lin's voice was cold and it invaded Greed's mind, causing Greed's body to tremble. It was also that ancient tomb. All of my treasures were obtained in that ancient tomb. Greed gave up resisting. He understood that if he told the truth, he might have a chance of survival. He knew that the person before him was a monster and would never show mercy. If he aroused Wang Lin's suspicion and Wang Lin used soul search, then even if he didn't die, he would lose his sanity. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he looked at Greed and slowly said, "What tomb? Explain in detail, don't force me to search your soul." Greed didn't dare to conceal anything and quickly spoke. "After escaping from the Moongazer serpent, I didn't die but hid on a half-abandoned planet in all heaven. I was hiding from you and spent time recovering. After a long time, I didn't see you chasing after me. I realized you probably thought I was dead. I felt a peace of mind and focused on recovering on that planet until I was completely recovered. Then I decided to leave. At that time you were no longer in all heaven. The entire all heaven star system was extremely empty as a majority of the cultivators had gone to the Alliance star system for the war. This gave me an opportunity. I was safe along the way, and I didn't want to return to the Alliance star system. Also because I was devoured by the Moongazer. A stench had latched onto my body and origin soul. The smell lingered and it was unbearable. Thus I traveled across the stars, looking for a way to get rid of this stench from my body. Days and nights passed until one day I approached the barrier to the lightning celestial realm. There I found a strange vortex. That vortex appeared very suddenly as if it had purposely appeared before me. I didn't find it very strange. I've encountered even stranger things in my life. Like back when I was at the core formation stage, I faced an enemy I was no match for, and the furnace fell from the sky, smashing my enemy to death. Wang Lin frowned and said, "Stay on point." Greed's body trembled and he quickly said, "After the vortex appeared, I had a powerful feeling in my mind. I had never felt a feeling this strong before. Not when the furnace fell from the sky and killing my enemy, or when I saw the Moongazer serpent." Just as he said this, he saw Wang Lin frown. His mind felt cold and he stopped wasting time. I didn't hesitate to rush into the vortex. Just as I entered it, the vortex disappeared. The vortex had appeared for no more than 3 breaths of time. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and then gradually became cold. He stared at Greed and slowly said, "It sounds like the vortex was opened specifically for you." Greed's expression changed and quickly said, "I'm not lying, everything I said is true. I know you don't believe me, but it's the truth, and it's not the only time it happened to me. When I was 8, just playing in the village, I was able to find yellow essence. I fell off a cliff and found a vermilion fruit and obtained the ancient thunder dragon. The furnace fell from the sky and killed my enemy. Others need to fight for the rain furnace, but I was just flying outside and the rain furnace flew to me. Upon entering the celestial realm, others spend a lot of time carefully looking for celestial jades but find few. When I went there for the first time, I was teleported into the cave of a celestial king. There was also an ancient inheritance from the Alliance that was difficult for others to find the entrance to. I walked 3 steps and was teleported inside." Greed was afraid Wang Lin wouldn't believe him. If it was all a lie, it wouldn't matter. But Greed knew that everything he had said was true. Sometimes even he found it unbelievable. Wang Lin interrupted Greed's explanation and slowly said, "Continue. What did you see after entering the vortex?" "The vortex seemed to be another world. It was extremely chaotic and filled with spatial cracks. Just one step meant certain doom. There were countless pieces of floating boulders, and the depths were surrounded by fog, so I couldn't get a clear look. I couldn't find an exit there and was locked there for hundreds of years. The death aura there was extremely strong, and from my observation I figured that place should be a tomb. I even saw a giant head on a boulder. This head was about 1,000 feet large and extremely ferocious. It had stars between its eyebrows. I found the emperor furnace there. There was still incense smoke burning as if it was worshipping. As I went deeper I found even more heads. These heads all gave off powerful resentment and reluctance. Some of them had a single horn or 2 horns. Some of them had treasures before them. As Greed recalled this, there was a hint of fear in his eyes. Aside from the statue and the ancient wood spirit, I obtained all my treasures from those heads. However, in the 100 years I was there, I only carefully moved around the other edge. I didn't dare to move to the inner region, so I didn't know what's there. Until one day, while I was moving between 2 boulders, I encountered a large amount of spatial cracks. With my cultivation level, I would have without a doubt died, so I could only retreat and enter into the depths of that place. When I arrived at the edge of the inner realm, I heard mournful roar coming from all directions. This made my body tremble, a tremble from the soul. I didn't dare to carelessly move from there. It wasn't until a few years later that I had the guts to move. I wanted to leave and return to the outer edge. I had a feeling that the inner part wasn't somewhere I could go and I would die. However, just as I wanted to leave, I was hit by a storm and was seriously injured before passing out. When I woke up, I was beside a large, withered forest. The forest was so big I couldn't see the end. Even my divine sense couldn't cover the area. All the trees had withered and died. There was not a single leaf. I carefully moved through there in fear, and after unknown amount of years, I saw one tree that hadn't completely withered, and it had a single yellow leaf. This was the first leaf I had seen there. The leaf was later taken by me. I also put the tree that hadn't completely withered into my bag of holding. I don't know where the forest was located in this mysterious place, and I could only move forward. It felt like hundreds and thousands of years had passed. The more I walked forward, the more serious the withering was. At the end, the trees would turn to ashes the moment I touched them. One day, I arrived at the center of the forest. I believe that's where the center should be. I saw a statue, and at the moment I had a feeling that it was due to this statue that this boundless forest was withering. I felt that the statue was a treasure. The moment I picked it up, a vortex appeared. It was the same vortex that had brought me there. I was ecstatic and rushed into the vortex. After I came out, I was in a foreign star system. Later, I learned that I had come to the outer realm. After Greed finished speaking, he looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin frowned and began to ponder. There was a flash in Greed's eyes. Halfway through his story, he found that his body was no longer frozen. The stop spell seemed to have expired. At this moment, seeing that Wang Lin was pondering, Greed was extremely nervous and slowly retreated before suddenly speeding up. Just as he was about to escape, Wang Lin raised his right hand and casually reached out. In an instant, Greed let out a miserable scream as he was caught by an invisible hand and was pulled back toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's palm nearly touched Greed's forehead, and a mysterious suction force came from his palm and clearly entered Greed's head. Fear washed over Greed and he screamed, "You promised not to kill me!" Just as he screamed, Wang Lin's right hand landed on Greed's forehead. His divine sense rushed into Greed's origin soul and swept Greed's memory. At the same time, along with Wang Lin's powerful divine sense, thunder rumbled and gathered in his right hand. The thunder went into Greed's origin soul and cleansed his origin soul. Greed's body trembled, and in a moment sweat covered his whole body. This only took an instant. Then Wang Lin waved his right hand, throwing Greed far away. "I won't take your treasures for nothing. You can go." Greed's face was pale as he bit the tip of his lip and spat out blood. His speed increased greatly and he flew away. In the blink of an eye, not a trace of him remained. Greed's eyes were filled with lingering fear from escaping death and feeling wronged. This is the second time I had all my treasures taken by him. I swear I'll never let it happen a third time. Most of my treasure have been taken, so staying in the fallen land is too dangerous. I must quickly return to my cave to take what's left and leave. Greed felt wronged. and after teleporting countless times to make sure Wang Lin wasn't following him, he disappeared. When he reappeared, he was on Cultivation Planet. The moment he reappeared, he charged at a mountain and waved his hand when he arrived at the outer edge. The mountain rumbled and a thin crack opened. Greed didn't hesitate to enter, but the moment he entered, his body trembled. A foul smell came out from the crack and rushed into his face. It was so bad that he almost passed out. "Why does it stink so much?" Greed cursed, and his body suddenly trembled. He was frozen for a moment before he pinched his nose. After smelling carefully again, disbelief filled his eyes. "The stench from my body is gone. Even my sense of smell has been restored. I couldn't smell the stench of this cave before." Greed's eyes were filled with joy. During these hundreds of years, he had spent a lot of effort to resolve the stench from his body. After meeting Wang Lin and losing the chance to obtain the ancient scorpion corpse, he despaired. However, now the stench had unexpectedly disappeared on its own. "I won't take your treasures for nothing, you can go." Greed remembered Wang Lin's words before he left, and he revealed a complicated expression. After letting Greed go, Wang Lin had turned around and returned to the Dark Scorpion clan. Greed had come out of the inner realm before him, and had collected all these treasures for him. After obtaining all of Greed's hard-earned treasures, and adding the joy of meeting someone from home, how could Wang Lin be willing to kill him? That Greed is my lucky star. I can't kill him, I must let him go. I'm looking forward to our third meeting. He will probably have more treasures to give me. Wang Lin smiled as he appeared above the Dark Scorpion clan's planet. The nearly 1,000 cultivators from the Cloud Escape clan hadn't dared to leave and were still waiting there. Zhong Big Red had become spirited and picked a few cultivators with high cultivation levels to heal him. He laid there and continued to let out cold snorts. Every time he let out a cold snort, the surrounding cultivators would tremble. They looked at Zhong Big Red with respect. They weren't afraid of Zhong Big Red, but of the master behind him. The expression of their patriarch after seeing the jade token made them realize that they had provoked someone they shouldn't, and that a calamity was coming. The Dark Scorpion clan members that were dispersed were respectfully escorted back one by one. Pills were taken out to help them recover. Even the old man named Zhang was brought back. There were 2 female Cloud Escape cultivators rubbing Zhong Big Red's shoulders. He felt very comfortable and arrogantly said, "I already told you all long ago. This old man clearly told all of you, but you all won't believe me. What's the use of keeping your eyes? It's not this old man looking down upon you, but with your cultivation levels, not to mention my master, even I don't consider you all a threat. Just one slap is enough to crush you all like ants." Zhong Big Red raised his chin and scolded them with disdain. The surrounding Cloud Escape cultivators all nodded in agreement. Even those that were haughty didn't dare to refute, when their entire clan was facing destruction. The Cloud Escape patriarch and elders respectfully stood beside Zhong Big Red. They all had flattering smiles and continued to nod. "Lord, please forgive us. I really didn't know Lord's identity. I hope Lord will say good things about us, and afterward, I'll send you a generous gift." The Cloud Escape patriarch felt bitterness in his heart. His cultivation level was clearly much higher. He could kill Zhong Big Red with one finger, but now he had to carefully serve this person. Zhong Big Red was very comfortable from the female cultivators massaging him. He let out a snort and proudly said, "Since you realize your mistake, I should give you a chance to repent, but..." The Cloud Escape patriarch quickly took a few steps forward and waved his right hand to take out a jade bottle. His heart ached, but he clenched his teeth and offered it up. "Just a little gift. I hope Lord accepts it." Zhong Big Red picked it up and looked at it. Joy appeared in his eyes as he put it away and coughed. "This old man will try." Just at this moment, ripples spread in the sky and Wang Lin walked out. The moment he walked out, Zhong Big Red's expression changed and he suddenly stood up. He was afraid he was too slow and pushed aside the female cultivators behind him. Then a flattering expression appeared on his face. "Welcome, Master, on your triumphant return. Master, Big Red hasn't seen you in such a long time that I felt lost. Even when I cultivate, I can't calm down unless I recite Master's name 100 times. Even then it can't compare to how much this little one missed Master." Only after seeing Master and being next to Master can this little one feel calm. Zhong Big Red quickly moved forward and used his invincible art. At the same time, he was very careful to not exaggerate too much and make Wang Lin mad. At this moment, the arrogance he showed before the Cloud Escape clan was gone, and now he was constantly flattering. This was the first time the Cloud Escape cultivators had encountered something like this and were gobsmacked. Even the Cloud Escape Patriarch, who had just sent out the gift, was stunned. He couldn't imagine how someone could change so drastically in an instant. Quickly, make way. Why are you standing there? Don't block my master. Zhong Big Red rushed toward Wang Lin and pushed away the Escape Cloud Clan cultivators, including the Patriarch. It was as if he had completely forgotten about the joy after receiving the gift. The Cloud Escape clan didn't leave the planet. They wouldn't dare to leave until Wang Lin allowed them to. After Wang Lin returned, he created a large cave and went into closed-door cultivation. He set up restrictions so no one could take half a step within 50 kilometers of the cave. The Dark Scorpion clan had the highest status, so they occupied the area closest to the cave. The Cloud Escape clan was helpless, so they could only temporarily settle down nearby. Zhong Big Red was extremely arrogant. He moved between the two clans as he wished. The joy of being the focus of everyone's attention was something he couldn't get in the Scatter Thunder clan. Inside the cave, Wang Lin sat there and pondered. Earlier, before the messenger left, the messenger had told him that a very important event would occur in 3 months. On that day, the fallen elders would be restructured. Some might keep their status and some might be replaced by others. However, Wang Lin didn't care about this. What he cared about was how he could accomplish his goal with the Fire Sparrow clan through this fallen elder election. The bait has been set. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and then he closed them as his divine sense spread out. His divine sense gradually merged with the world, becoming part of it. After a long time, Wang Lin slowly noticed that a familiar feeling in the distance was moving farther and farther away. In the dark space outside the fallen land, 3 Fire Sparrow clan members were flying far away. One of them was a middle-aged man with a solemn expression. He touched the mark between his eyebrows and his eyes revealed a strange light. Elder asked me to send the blood extracted from the pill back. This matter is of great importance to our clan, so we can't make any mistakes. If the Elder's analysis is true, then after the Patriarch and Elders see this, they will definitely have more orders. The man's eyes were filled with determination. He and the 2 people beside him flew even faster and disappeared into the distance. Wang Lin opened his eyes and his divine withdrew. A sneer appeared on his face. That blood contained a high temperature and a hint of fire essence. Aside from his own blood, nothing else could replace it. Therefore, he could use his connection to his own blood to find its rough location, even when it was far away. Once that sliver of essence is sent back to the Fire Sparrow clan, it will definitely set off a huge wave. Then my plan to obtain their fire essence should succeed. Since the blood has already been sent away, I need to prepare the second step. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and revealed a hint of gloominess. He waved his right hand and a spatial rift appeared. The moment the rift opened, a mournful cry came from within. This cry was filled with sorrow and could make the hearts of people tremble. Grandpa Su, little Biao knows he was wrong. Grandpa Su, please let little Biao go. I'll never dare to deceive you again. Another scream echoed, and Su Ligua's laughter was mixed with it. To land in your Grandpa Su's hands was your fortune. Your Grandpa Su has been lonely for thousands of years. I'll never kill you. Little precious Jin Biao, you can rest assured. Grandpa Su won't make it too painful, end quote. The miserable screams echoed and sounded really tragic. Wang Lin frowned and let out a dry cough. As his cough echoed into the storage space, the screams suddenly stopped. Shortly after, Su Ligua's excited voice echoed, and he quickly flew out from the storage space. Su Ligua was holding a person. His clothes were in tatters, looking as if he was just attacked, and he looked extremely haggard. His eyes were filled with horror as Su Ligua held him and appeared before Wang Lin. Master, what do you need help with? This little one assures I'll do it well, and it won't be like back in the Scatter Thunder clan. Su Ligua threw Lu Jinbiao to the side and rubbed his hands together. Wang Lin didn't look at Su Ligua but looked at Lu Jinbiao, who began to tremble. His heart was filled with indescribable fear. After being thrown into the storage space, he had been tormented by Su Ligua. He was devastated and miserable, and every time he thought about Su Ligua it was like a nightmare. Wang Lin slowly said, "Lu Jinbao, do you admit your wrongdoing?" When these words landed in Lu Jinbiao's ears, his body trembled violently. Then he knelt on the ground and cried, "Celestial!" This little one knows he was wrong and asks Celestial to give this little one a chance. This little one will never deceive again. Wang Lin's right index finger gently touched his knee and a strange light appeared in his eyes. He looked at Lu Jinbiao and said, "Tell me, how is your deception without the jade?" Lu Jinbiao wiped away the tears off his face and was filled with repentance. He quickly said, "Celestial, what deception skill does this little one have? I completely relied on the jade, and now Celestial has taken the jade, so this little one can't deceive anyone anymore. I ask Celestial to give this little one freedom. This little one can't deceive anyone anymore." There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and he nodded. "Since you can't deceive anyone anymore, you're worthless. Thus, there is no reason to keep you alive." Lu Jinbiao's face was filled with joy but then immediately froze. Once he realized Wang Lin's meaning, his expression changed. His body trembled when he saw the coldness in Wang Lin's eyes, and he quickly said, "Celestial misunderstands. Celestial misunderstands." What little one said was wrong. Even without the jade, this little one's deception skill is #1 in the Cloud Sea. No one can compare. This little one never relied too much on the jade. I only used it when I had to. This little one has been practicing the art of deception since young, and has always used any chance I had to practice. I'm a master of deception. Oh, then tell me, what is your understanding of deception? Wang Lin's right index finger was still gently tapping his knee. Although his voice was calm, this action caused Lu Jinbiao's heart to beat at the rate of his tapping. Deception, in truth, is the truth to trick people. To use any means, especially credibility, misunderstanding, or even prejudice, to achieve a certain goal. When needed, this includes camouflage even to the point where you believe it yourself. Only like this can you fool others. Lu Jinbiao was cautious as he looked at Wang Lin. After seeing Wang Lin nod, he relaxed a bit. The art of deception I study is divided into 3 realms. The first realm is to deceive others. The second realm is to deceive yourself. The third realm is a certain enlightenment, like seeing a mountain as a mountain and seeing a mountain not as a mountain. Going back to the basics, it is similar to the first realm. These 3 realms sound simple, but in truth, most people linger in the first realm. They don't even believe their own words and are just deceiving to deceive. Their skills are trivial. Lu Jinbiao relaxed, but he was still cautious. Only after reaching a certain understanding of deception can one reach the second realm, to deceive oneself. To use any method and life experience to deceive oneself, until even you yourself believe the deception is real. Lu Jinbiao took a deep breath. He seemed to have forgotten his present situation and became serious. There are others that have reached this realm. Whenever we meet, we always debate Tao and compare our understanding. However, most people I've met didn't dare to go too far into the second realm. After all, the second realm is extremely dangerous to us. The danger comes from ourselves. When we completely cheat ourselves, there is a chance we get lost and forget. We might become a gentleman, a villain, or even a madman. There were also some seniors who sank too far into the second realm and even forgot who they were. Whenever I think of them, I feel sadness in my heart. Lamentable, lamentable. Lu Jinbiao had forgotten this current situation, and there was a certain charm to his words. This caused Su Ligua's jaw to drop and he mocked, "Aren't you just a scammer? You talk as if it's like cultivating." Su Ligua didn't finish speaking when Lu Jinbiao suddenly stood up and glared at him. His eyes were filled with pride and haughtiness, but there was also a hint of loneliness. This loneliness came from someone who stood at the top. How can an ignorant child understand this old man's heart? When this old man was 4 years old, I began cheating and was already a prodigy at the age of 9. I dared to deceive a foundation establishment cultivator as a mortal. After 16 years, I could read people's hearts at a glance. Since then, I've walked the heavens and earth, seeking the limit of the art of deception. The world is big and rum. Or has it that there are 3,000 grand Daos? However, who can tell this old man what the 3,000 grand Daos are? and that the Tao of deception isn't part of the 3,000 grand Das. If what you all cultivate can be called Tao, then isn't what I cultivate considered Tao? How many creatures have been born throughout time? And how many creatures have perished? Ever since the birth of the universe and living things coming to be, deception has existed. If it is useless, then it would have long disappeared and not existed until today. This old man seeks to ask the heavens the rank of the Tao of deception among the 3,000 grand Das. If there really is none, then this old man will make his own Tao outside of the 3,000 grand Das. Su Ligua was gobsmacked. Even Wang Lin was startled. At this moment, Lu Jinbiao was no longer desolate. He stood there, and although his clothes were still in tatters, an indescribable feeling shrouded him. This is the old man has reached the second realm of deception. Don't you all think this is easy? Deceiving yourself once is easy, but deceiving yourself for a lifetime is difficult. Deceiving yourself all the time would affect your origin soul, and even your memory would change. Even powerful cultivators that have reached the second step can't find real memories using soul search, because all the real memories have collapsed. The second realm is to deceive ourselves. At the peak, one either loses themselves and becomes someone else, or they can be reborn and remember themselves. Then they can break through the second realm and be able to turn back to themselves at any moment. Such a person is rare, and they would reach the third step of returning back to one's true form. If it wasn't for the fact that I relied on the jade so much that my Tao heart isn't strong, which made my Tao of deception stop, then not even Lord Celestial could catch me so easily. Now that you took my jade and destroyed what I relied on, it gave me a chance. In the storage space, my deception reached the peak of the second realm, and I took half a step into the third realm. Lu Jinbiao waved his sleeve and revealed a cold expression. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he slowly said, "That's kind of interesting." After Su Ligua was yelled at by Lu Jinbiao, he didn't yell back but pondered for a bit. His gaze toward Lu Jinbiao changed before he clasped his hands and said, "Fellow cultivator Jingbiao's words have widened my horizons. In the 3,000 grand Das, there is the Tao of deception. Good, good, good. I want to know if the Tao I seek is also among the 3,000 grand Das." Lu Jinbiao's eyes were filled with joy, as if he had changed into a different person. The pride and indifference he previously had collapsed in an instant. His back was still hunched and there was still a hint of fear in his eyes. Just a little deception skill, nothing worthy of mentioning to Lord Su. As long as Lord Su doesn't bully this little one too much, this little one will be satisfied. His change was so sudden it even startled Su Ligua. He cursed in his heart and didn't know what to say. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. He carefully looked at Lu Jinbiao and slowly said, "I can give you a chance. If you do it well, I'll let you go and even give you a great fortune." Lu Jinbiao's body trembled and he looked at Wang Lin. "You are often just deceiving one person or one sect, but now I want you to deceive an entire clan. Do you dare?" Wang Lin's voice was calm, but when Lu Jinbiao heard this, his heart skipped a beat. Lu Jinbiao hesitated and whispered, "This? In truth, it doesn't matter who I'm deceiving, but to set it up requires detailed preparations." "No problem, you have 3 months to prepare. You said that the second realm of deception is to deceive yourself so that even your memory changes. So I'll give you a set of memories." The blue fire in Wang Lin's left eye surged out and surrounded Lu Jinbiao, forming a ball of fire. Su Ligua immediately retreated and revealed a hint of terror. This fiend's cultivation level has increased again. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 1 month went by. In this month, Su Ligua wanted to leave the cave to enjoy himself, but just as he was about to leave, he would be stopped by the restrictions. After trying a few times, Su Ligua continued to curse as he stared outside and began to daydream. On this day, Su Ligua was still in a daze when he suddenly looked back. Deep within the cave, the fireball had been burning there for a month. Shortly after, a violent roar came from the fireball and the fire from the fireball formed a large vermilion bird, and it let out a cry. Then a figure slowly appeared from the fireball. At first the figure was blurry, but it became more clear as the person walked out. Su Ligua's pupil shrank and he was startled. He vaguely felt like the person who walked out was familiar, and when he took a closer look, his eyes almost popped out. The figure walked out from the fireball and stood before Su Ligua. His clothes were still in tatters, but it didn't weaken his sense of majesty at all. Lu Jinbiao looked exactly the same, but the feeling he gave Su Ligua was like heaven and earth from before. The Lu Jinbiao now was like a master of a generation. As he stood there, an invisible pressure came from him. It was strong enough to shock anyone who saw him. A fire surrounded Lu Jinbiao and revealed the appearance of a vermilion bird. His gaze was indifferent and calm. He displayed his might without being angry, and when his gaze swept past Su Ligua, it even caused Su Ligua to suck in a breath of cold air. Lu Jinbiao's cultivation was erratic. Sometimes it was extremely powerful and sometimes ordinary, but it was this change that made him mysterious. Although his gaze was indifferent, there was a sense of age deep within his eyes. This sense of age wasn't something an ordinary cultivator could have. It was a sense of exhaustion that only appeared after someone had lived for tens of thousands of years and had seen through life. This was an exhaustion of life. It was something that appeared after living for far too long. Su Ligua was completely startled. He couldn't tell if this was the same Lu Jinbiao he had bullied in the storage space. Although the two looked the same, the feelings they gave off were like two completely different people. You. Just as Su Ligua opened his mouth, Lu Jinbiao coldly looked at Su Ligua. This glance caused Su Ligua's scalp to go numb, and he subconsciously took a few steps back. This old man is the 6th-generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. I'm looking for the 4th-generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. I was seriously injured by the sealed realm formation when leaving the inner realm, Lu Jinbiao said, giving off a sense of majesty as if he was above all. This aura could only appear when someone had been in a high position that controlled the life and death of tens of thousands of people for a long time. At this moment he had long forgotten he was once a scammer. His memory had changed and he believed he really was the 6th-generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Even if a powerful cultivator searched his soul, they wouldn't find any flaws. All the memories they would obtain would be real. Lu Jinbiao coldly stepped forward. At this moment, Wang Lin's voice came out from the blue fireball in the cave. Su Ligua, serve the 6th-generation Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor, and listen to all his orders. If you disobey him, I'll erase your existence. Su Ligua's body trembled and he quickly nodded before following Lu Jinbiao. The restrictions on the cave were automatically opened, allowing the two to leave. Aside from Lu Jinbiao, no one knew what Wang Lin left on him in that month. After the two of them left, the fireball gradually disappeared and returned to Wang Lin's left eye. He still calmly sat there, and there was a flash of wisdom in his eyes. The second bait has been set. Fire Sparrow Clan, don't disappoint me. Wang Lin revealed a sneer and waved his hand, causing a rift to his storage space to appear. A statue flew out. It was the one he got from Greed. Greed has gifted me a lot of treasure. I need to imprint my divine sense on all of them and learn of their powers, so I can display their full strength in battle. This statue is obviously his most powerful treasure. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken it out last. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Not everyone could reach the second realm of deception like Lu Jinbiao and change the memories in their mind. At least Greed couldn't. Wang Lin had searched Greed's memory and learned that what he had said was mostly true. He had also learned 2 key points from Greed's memory. The first key point was where the vortex had appeared in all heaven. The second point was where Greed had appeared after coming out from that ancient tomb. These 2 points should be useful to me. I should search that location in the ancient star system as I might find some gains. As for the tomb, it is very like the rumored ancient order tomb. Wang Lin's gaze swept past the statue as he pondered. Who the hell is this statue? Why would it appear in that tomb? Wang Lin pondered for a long time before he extended his divine sense toward the statue. However, just as his divine sense was going to touch the statue, his eyes lit up. Perhaps she will recognize it. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he waved his right hand, creating a second spatial rift. Wang Lin had opened this spatial rift just for one person. Silver moonlight came out from the rift and filled the cave. A beautiful woman slowly walked out from the rift. It was the woman in silver who had regained some of her memories. Wang Lin asked, "Do you know him?" The woman in silver put her hair behind her ear and looked at the statue after walking out. At this moment, her pupils shrank and she was stunned for a moment before she began to scream. Her scream was harsh and miserable, containing a great amount of fear. It was as if this man had done so much harm to her that even though her memories hadn't fully recovered, she couldn't help but let out such a miserable scream. The woman in silver's sudden change was not something Wang Lin had expected, and something he had never seen before from her. He quickly stood up and put away the statue. The woman in silver had already retreated to the edge of the cave. Her body was filled with monstrous fear and her body trembled violently. Her face was pale, and at a glance she was like a lonely boat in a stormy sea, extremely pitiful. Wang Lin was about to move forward when the woman suddenly raised her head. The fear in her eyes was unimaginably strong as she snapped, "Don't come over." The voice was filled with loss and helplessness. There was also a distrust of all living things in the world. At this moment she didn't even trust Wang Lin. Wang Lin silently stood there and felt remorse. He only wanted to find out the identity of the statue, but he didn't expect she would display such fear. Sounds of weeping came from the woman and 2 streams of tears flowed down her cheeks. The drops of tears made soft sounds as they fell on the floor. The tears shattered in the ground, forming a wet mark that gradually spread. "Don't come over. Don't come over. I didn't make a mistake. I didn't open the door. I didn't." The woman bit her lower lip, held her body against the wall and slowly curled up. Tears flowed non-stop from her eyes as her shoulders trembled. Anyone who saw this would feel a sense of pity. Wang Lin slyly pondered. After a long time he whispered, "I'm sorry." The woman was still curled up and her weeping was still filled with intense fear. Wang Lin slowly moved forward and slowly arrived next to the woman. He gently knelt down and touched her hair. He softly said, "Don't be afraid, it is all in the past now. Don't think about it. Since you have forgotten, just forget about it." Listening to Wang Lin's soft, comforting words, the woman gradually calmed down. She was still shaking and after a long time she slowly raised her head. There was still deep fear in her eyes, and she had bit her lower lip so hard that it was bleeding. "I didn't open the door. It really wasn't me," the woman murmured as she looked at Wang Lin. Aside from fear, there was also confusion in her eyes. I know," Wang Lin whispered, but his eyes revealed a strange light. The woman apparently knew the person the statue represented and likely had come in contact with that person. Who the hell was this person? Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Wang Lin softly said, "I know it wasn't you who opened the door, don't think about it anymore." The woman didn't seem to hear Wang Lin's words. Her eyes alternated between confusion and fear as she continued to murmur, "All dead. All been killed. Peach Cloud is dead. Purple Fall is also dead. All dead. He was certain we opened the door. All dead, I also died." Wang Lin silently pondered for a moment and then looked at the trembling woman. After pondering for a long time he suddenly asked, "Who is he?" "He is." The woman in silver trembled and the fear in her eyes increased several-fold. At the same time, her expression began to distort as a sharp pain washed over her. Under this intense pain, the woman began to scream once more. It was as if she didn't want to remember, to think about anything related to that person. Under this intense pain, a green gas appeared on her face as if it was moving under face. A bizarre mark that covered her entire face appeared. The previously beautiful woman suddenly became like a demon. She suddenly raised her head. The fear and confusion in her eyes had dissipated. Instead, it was replaced with apathy and death. At this moment, a powerful force erupted from her body like a storm. Wang Lin's mind trembled and he immediately felt a powerful sense of danger. He retreated without hesitation. Just as he retreated, the woman raised her right hand and mercilessly pressed it toward Wang Lin. This palm didn't use any origin energy, but it caused the entire planet to tremble. The sky was originally bright and clear, but in an instant it turned black as if dyed by ink. This darkness covered the sun and blocked out the sky. The entire planet was now dark. In this darkness a rumble echoed. This wasn't thunder but a sound much more powerful than thunder. A huge rift was opened up in the sky by this sound. This rift was different from normal spatial rifts, it was far deeper. The depth of this rift was something that couldn't be explained. It was as if this rift led to a mysterious and unfathomable space deep within the star system. The moment the rift appeared, green gas rushed out and charged at Wang Lin's cave. The restrictions weren't able to stop the green gas at all. It charged through and circled around the woman's right palm. Although this all sounds slow, it happened in an instant. The instant the woman raised her right hand, the green gas arrived. This is not spiritual energy, celestial spiritual energy, origin energy, ancient demon power, ancient devil power, or ancient god power. Wang Lin's pupils shrank as he rapidly retreated. The woman's right hand suddenly descended and the green gas suddenly gathered to form a green palm that chased after Wang Lin. In the blink of an eye, the palm closed in. Wang Lin's right hand formed a seal, and the origin energy in his body surged to form a giant vortex that collided with the palm print. There was a thunderous bang and the vortex collapsed. The palm print wasn't damaged at all and had pierced through. Wang Lin was still retreating and used the collapse of the vortex to leave the cave. Thunder flashed in his right eye and shot out, forming a giant thunder tattoo. 9 accompanying types of thunder circled the thunder essence, causing the thunder tattoo to give off a heaven-shattering rumble. The accompanying thunders rotated and blocked the palm print. The resulting thunderous rumbles were several times more intense than before. The thunder tattoo was pushed back. As for the palm print, a large amount of the green gas dissipated before chasing after Wang Lin once more. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and his right foot took a step back. He stopped and no longer retreated. His right hand reached at the void and a monstrous blood light flashed as the blood sword appeared in his hand. Holding the blood sword, the moment the palm print penetrated the thunder tattoo, he let out a cold snort and mercilessly chopped down. The blood light instantly shined brightly. It was like a sea of blood had descended on the palm print. The sword paused for a moment when it collided with the palm print before slicing it in half. The palm print suddenly collapsed, but the green gas didn't dissipate. It condensed into a ball and was able to return into the rift in the sky. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes. There was a salty taste in his mouth as blood flowed out from his mouth and eyes, but he held them back. His expression became cold as he flew up holding the blood sword. As the green ball of gas flew toward the rift, Wang Lin mercilessly reached toward it. "Come down!" The world trembled and a giant illusory palm appeared and grabbed the ball of green gas. The moment the green gas was caught by Wang Lin, the rift in the sky immediately closed and disappeared. The darkness disappeared and light returned to the earth. Wang Lin's expression was gloomy as he appeared in the cave holding the ball of green gas. What he saw caused him to frown. The woman in silver had passed out and her face was ashen. Her body was unconsciously trembling and she was still muttering, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me who opened the door. It wasn't me." With a gloomy expression, Wang Lin arrived next to the woman. His left hand formed many restrictions that landed on the woman. After doing all of this, he was still frowning as he looked at the green gas in his right hand. This is another force outside of origin energy. This isn't the power of Joss flames or essence, but it's very similar to essence. What exactly is it? Does it have anything to do with that statue? This woman in silver has too many secrets. What exactly is her identity? One of the 8 ancient imperial concubines. Wang Lin couldn't figure it out. This woman said that Joss flame is poisonous. At first I thought she had cultivated Joss flames and ended up like this due to it. However, looking at it now, it doesn't seem that simple. Could it be that she knew Joss flame was poisonous before she cultivated it? There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes as he stared at the unconscious woman. After a long time, he raised his hand and pressed it down on her forehead. He used the soul search spell he still hadn't used on her. "There is no hatred between us and I don't intend to hurt you. However, you have too many secrets that are important to me. With my cultivation level, as long as I'm careful, I won't damage your mind while using soul search." Wang Lin's eyes closed as his divine sense entered the woman's forehead through his right hand. The woman's mind was cloudy and there were flashes of green light inside. Wang Lin's divine sense swept through it, trying to find her memories. However, no matter how much he searched, he couldn't find anything relating to her memories. This place was extremely cloudy. As his divine sense was spread out, an unknown amount of time passed. Wang Lin's divine sense suddenly began to gather from all directions toward an area surrounded by green fog. The light from the green fog here was weak, and after circling it a few times, Wang Lin's divine sense slowly extended inside. Just as he entered, the green light from the fog increased and shot toward Wang Lin's divine sense. This green light was extremely similar to the green gas Wang Lin had just faced outside. As the large amount of green light arrived from all sides, Wang Lin's divine was like silk, avoiding all the green light as he continued to move forward. The deeper he went, the more green light there was. In the end, it was so dense that it formed a net and closed in on Wang Lin's divine sense without giving him a chance to escape. Wang Lin's divine sense shrank rapidly, and all the divine sense that had entered here condensed into a needle. The moment the green light closed in, his divine sense shot out and collided with the green light. Thunderous rumbles echoed. In the cave, Wang Lin still had his hand placed on the woman's forehead. His eyes were closed and his face turned pale as blood flowed down from the corner of his mouth. However, his eyes remained closed. Inside the woman's mind, most of Wang Lin's divine sense had dissipated by the time he broke through the green light. The remaining divine sense charged into the depths of this cloudy area. More green light arrived, but Wang Lin's divine sense moved around and in the end arrived at the deepest part of this green fog. The moment Wang Lin entered the depths, his divine sense trembled and he saw something shocking that he could never forget. Deep within the green fog sat a person. This person wore a seven-colored robe and was a middle-aged man. As he sat here, he gave off seven-colored light. He wasn't an origin soul or real, but was formed by a seal. Inside the cave, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes, feeling shocked. He moved his right hand from her forehead. Although he didn't find her memory, his gains were great. The figure in the woman's mind is exactly the same as the statue. Wang Lin silently pondered. It's 7 colors again. The moment he saw the figure, he first thought of the sovereign. However, he dropped the idea immediately. Although the sovereign was strong, he was not strong enough to make Wang Lin terrified just as a statue. He had seen third-step cultivators before. Dao Master Blue Dream's cultivation level was really close to the sovereign's, so Wang Lin could tell the difference quite easily. 7 colors. 7 colors. During my cultivation life, I have encountered the 7 colors many times. The All-Seer likes the 7 colors and the Sovereign also has the 7 colors. There is also the spells that are 7-colored. And the 7-colored realm where the Dao fruit was. There is also the 7-colored God Void Nail. Wang Lin had a feeling that there was a great secret hidden in the 7 colors. There is also the green gas and green light. Could they be part of the 7 colors? Wang Lin frowned and after a long time, he let out a sigh. He waved his sleeve and put the woman in silver back into his storage space. This matter is too unfathomable for me. It is pointless to think about it now. I should refine Greed's treasure and obtain the Fire Sparrow clan's essence. Wang Lin pondered a bit and then no longer thought about the statue. Instead, he took out Greed's treasures to refine and research. 99 hollow crystal swords. Greed obtained this from a boulder with the head of an ancient demon. In his memory, the eyes of this head didn't have any stars. The 99 swords were stained in blood and formed a sword formation. Wang Lin waved his right hand and the 99 swords immediately surrounded him, each giving off powerful cold energy. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his divine sense swept out. He carefully examined each of the 99 swords. They are indeed treasures of ancient demons, and they contain powerful demonic energy. It might not display its full power in my hands, but if my second avatar is complete and I use it as an ancient demon, the power would not be ordinary. This treasure, should I keep it or refine it? Wang Lin pondered a bit before waving his right hand. He left his divine sense imprint and restrictions on the swords before putting them away inside his storage space. If I refine them, the demonic energy inside will be wasted. Once I return to the inner realm, the second avatar can absorb it. Unfortunately, my connection to my second avatar is being blocked by the sealed realm formation, or else I could transfer it now. I won't know how my second avatar is doing after all these years. Wang Lin silently took out the second treasure, the protection bone tablets. The 9 tablets surrounded him and gave off an aura Wang Lin was familiar with. This was the aura of the ancient gods. He lifted his right and touched a stone tablet. In Greed's memory, he obtained them from a boulder that had the head of an ancient god on it. That ancient god head looked very young. It didn't seem to be an adult. The anger and confusion had lingered for an eternity in his eyes. The material of these stone tablets. They are made out of the bones of my ancient god clan. However, it wasn't made out of malice. but from the bones of an ancestor who died and willingly gave out their remains to be refined as treasures. Otherwise, there would be powerful resentment coming from it, and it would not be this calm. Greed only used this treasure as protection and wasn't able to activate the hidden ancient god spell inside. Wang Lin waved his right hand and the 9 tablets began to shine. Powerful ancient god aura erupted from the 9 tablets as they rotated around Wang Lin. In the end, they shrank until they condensed around Wang Lin's right arm. The 9 tablets fused into one and turned into a gauntlet. This gauntlet was grayish-white, looking as if it was a piece of bone. It wrapped around his fist so that his fist was now 1 size larger. It even wrapped around his fingers so when he formed a fist, there would be crackling sounds. There were also many damage marks on it. There were sword marks and cracks, representing all the battles the young ancient god had fought. There is also an ancient god spell hidden inside this treasure. Just like the green shield, it's a life-saving spell. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to save the life of that ancient god. Wang Lin had a complicated expression on his face as his ancient god energy rushed into the gauntlet. 8-star ancient god spell, Ancestral Protection. This spell is not in 2C's memory. Wang Lin was immersed in the spell inside the gauntlet and only awakened after 15 minutes. If this spell is used with the light and shadow shield, it will be extremely powerful. After looking at his right hand with a thought, the gauntlet melted and fused with his body. He raised his hand and reached at the void. The 3rd treasure appeared. Emperor Furnace. When Wang Lin first saw the Emperor Furnace, his heart skipped a beat. This was an aura he was very familiar with. It was an aura unique to royal ancient gods, and only royal ancient gods could feel it. I didn't expect Greed to obtain a royal ancient god treasure. Although it wasn't passed down by inheritance and was refined by someone else, it indeed is a royal ancient god treasure. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with joy as he looked at the Emperor Furnace, and the ancient god stars rotated rapidly between his eyebrows. Then starlight fell on the Emperor Furnace. The furnace rumbled and began to spin. Eventually, starlight came out from the furnace and landed between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Its size rapidly shrank until it eventually fused with Wang Lin's first star. Tua-san had fused 3rd-step cultivators into his stars, while Wang Lin fused treasures. These 2 methods were fundamentally different, so their paths were naturally different. Wang Lin's body trembled and the ancient god power in his body rapidly increased. Popping sounds echoed in his body. This lasted for a long time before dissipating. His hair moved without any wind and his body became stronger. Although it can't compare to the blood sword or the heaven-splitting axe in the sealed realm formation, it is almost on par with 2C's god-slaying spear. If I can completely refine it, its power will be endless. More importantly, its power is focused on refining. The joy in Wang Lin's eyes became even stronger. He waved his sleeve and took out the 4th treasure. It was the fog lance that constantly changed between real and fake. The moment the lance appeared, devilish energy filled the cave and mournful cries came out of it, making it more fierce. Ancient Devil Treasure. Unfortunately, I don't have an Ancient Devil avatar. If I did, I could display its full power. Ancient Devil Avatar. I think that if I can integrate all 3 clans, I can reach back to the power of the Ancient Order. Wang Lin stared at the Devil Lance and pondered. I cultivated the Ancient God body myself. The Ancient Demon Avatar was formed from the Soul Fragment and the worship from 13th clan, forming a power similar to Joss Flames. This made the Ancient Demon think it was me, so I didn't have to spend much effort to make it a part of myself. As for Ancient Devil, I might be able to create one myself. Of course, if I can catch one, it will be better. Wang Lin pondered as his right hand reached at the void and Greed's Devil Soul Bottle appeared before him. The moment the Devil Soul Bottle appeared, the devilish energy in the cave increased greatly and countless devil shadows appeared. The devilish energy shrouded the entire planet. From afar, the Dark Scorpion clan's planet was shrouded by a layer of devilish fog. It was extreme shocking. I can't form a devilish body, but I can create a devil soul. Using that soul to control the ancient devil treasures would increase their power greatly. If there is a chance, I can possess an ancient devil body and make it my 3rd avatar. However, what are the chances of success? Wang Lin stared at the devil soul bottle and hesitation appeared in his eyes. A moment later, Wang Lin's eyes were filled with determination, and his right hand pointed at the Devil Soul bottle. The bottle immediately let out a mournful roar. This roar seemed to contain a penetrating force and directly entered Wang Lin's mind. Even the power of a firefly would dare to compete with the bright moon. Wang Lin snorted, and his voice turned into ripples that collided with the mournful cries. Shortly after, black fog came out from the Devil Soul bottle. There were ancient devil souls struggling inside the black fog, and they immediately charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. As the devil souls rushed at him, he waved his hand and a gust of wind swept past the devil souls. They were all trapped in his hand. "Thou spell fuse." Wang Lin's voice was calm, but it contained a sense of coldness. As his words echoed, his eyes revealed a strange light, and he immediately used Dao Master Blue Dream's Dao spell. Popping sounds echoed and the devil souls began to let out mournful cries once more. They wanted to escape, but Wang Lin's hands were like a heavenly prison that they couldn't escape from. Wang Lin closed his eyes and focused his mind on fusing. Under the effects of the Dao spell, the countless devils were being fused together. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye 7 days went by. During these 7 days, Wang Lin had continuously used the Dao spell and didn't relax at all. On this day, the souls have fused together into a ball, and this ball gave off a ghostly light. This light got stronger and stronger until it lit up the whole cave. A violent aura came from the ball, and at the same time, a roar that sounded like sound of countless devils fused together echoed. "You want to refine my ancient devil clan? Impossible! Blood refining!" Wang Lin's eyes suddenly opened and he bit the tip of his tongue. He spat out blood and it landed on the ball. This blood contained essence and was also Wang Lin's ancient god heart blood. The moment the blood landed on the ball let out a miserable scream. The ball became chaotic, as if it would collapse at any time. The ghostly light dissipated almost completely and was replaced by blood light. The blood light slowly circulated through the entire ball. It didn't take long for the ball to become blood red. Wang Lin relaxed a bit and his right hand reached out, grabbing the Devil Soul bottle. He spat out origin energy and it entered the bottle. In an instant, large amounts of black fog flew out with countless devil souls. The moment they appeared, they were absorbed by the ball of blood. This ancient devil treasure contains 3,000 ancient devil souls. I'll fuse these 3,000 souls and form my ancient devil avatar. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and then the cave became filled with fog. The fog was filled with devilish energy. Time slowly passed as Wang Lin refined the devil souls. 1 month went by. It was less than 1 month away from the fallen elder selection. Wang Lin had been in closed-door cultivation for 2 months. During these 2 months, a major event had occurred in the fallen land. On the edge of the fallen land on an abandoned planet, the entire planet burst into flames. The fire was blue, and it shrouded the entire abandoned planet. However, this fire didn't last for too long. It dissipated after 8 minutes and then everything returned to normal. However, just these 8 minutes caused the skins of all the fire cultivators in the fallen land to crawl. It didn't matter what they were doing. The moment the planet burst into flames, they were all shocked. The fire inside their bodies flew out of their bodies without their control. Their fire began to move toward that abandoned planet as if it were being summoned. This strange thing shocked all the fire cultivators. In particular, all the Fire Sparrow clan members felt a stronger sensation than the others. The elder that had traded with Wang Lin was cultivating when the fire in his body suddenly appeared and turned into a fire sparrow. It opened its wings and seemed like it was going to fly away, causing the elder's expression to change greatly. This matter caught the attention of the fire cultivators in the fallen land. The elder of the Fire Sparrow clan quickly left his closed-door cultivator and went to the abandoned planet with a few of his clan members. However, when he arrived, he didn't find anything no matter how much he searched. However, he did feel a hint of essence that was the same as the one from the pills. Also during these days, an event that shocked the entire clan took place in the Fire Sparrow clan. The 3 people who had escorted the drop of blood back from the fallen land had handed over the drop of blood. Then they waited there to be summoned again. They were anxious as they didn't know if this would catch the attention of the clan. In the vast star domain occupied by the Fire Sparrow clan, on the main planet, there were giant Fire Sparrow statues scattered across the planet. There was also one that was almost as high as the sky. There was a hall under the statue, and at this moment there was an old man sitting inside. The old man's face was red and covered in flames. He was the Fire Sparrow clan's patriarch. A drop of burning blood was floating before him. He stared at the blood with shock in his eyes. "This is essence." The old man's eyes shined, and then he suddenly stood up, grabbing the blood. He took a step and disappeared without a trace. When he reappeared, he was in the inner part of this cultivation planet. The inside of the planet had been hollowed out and was filled with a sea of fire. Even fire cultivators would find it difficult to bear the heat. This old man quickly moved through the sea of fire and soon arrived in the depths of the planet. The fire here was dark purple and looked terrifying. There was a flashing formation at the center of the purple fire, and inside the formation sat a middle-aged man. His clothes were also purple, and as he cultivated, a shocking aura was slowly circulating through his body. The old man seemed to be afraid of the dark purple fire. He stayed at the outer edge and respectfully said, "Junior requests to see Ancestor." After the old man spoke, he remained motionless, waiting to be summoned. After a long time, the middle-aged man inside the sea of purple fire slowly opened his eyes. Each of his eyes contained a fire mark. Combined with the mark between his eyebrows, they formed a triangle. These were 3 fire marks, but the colors were all distinct. The fire mark between his eyebrows was purple, the fire mark in his right eye was blue, and the fire mark in his left eye was ethereal, as if it didn't exist. But if you looked closely, you would see traces of it. This ethereal fire seemed like it hadn't stabilized yet and was blurry. However, it was this trace of ethereal fire that shocked the old man, causing him to lower his head and no longer dare to take a second look. "Even though you're the clan's patriarch, without my summon, you can't take half a step into the Holy Land. Did you forget?" The middle-aged man's voice was flat. The old man's face was covered in sweat as he licked his lips and whispered, "Ancestor, please don't be angry." Junior was anxious because some clan members found an extremely strange drop of blood, and I require Ancestor to examine it. The middle-aged man's expression remained the same, as if nothing could cause his expression to change. The indifference in his eyes remained, and this coldness created a startling contrast with the fire in his eyes. This made him look even more strange. "You even messed up a small matter like this. I'm not satisfied with a clan patriarch like you. Take out the blood and leave. Punish yourself according to the 3rd clan law." The old man's face immediately turned pale. He wanted to explain, but the moment he saw the Ancestor in the sea of purple fire, he nodded. He waved his right hand and the drop of burning blood appeared. Then the old man lowered his head and left. The middle-aged man casually reached out and grabbed the drop of blood from the sea of purple fire. The drop of blood landed in his hand and he casually took a glance at it. However, this casual glance shocked him greatly and he stared wide-eyed at the drop of blood. This is... The calmness within the middle-aged man collapsed and was replaced by shock and disbelief. He quickly held the blood closer to his eyes and his divine sense spread out. After scanning it hundreds of times, the shock in his eyes became even stronger. Vermilion bird blood. This is vermilion bird blood. The middle-aged man suddenly stood up and held the blood next to his mouth. After licking it, his body trembled once more. "That's right, the essence inside the blood can't be wrong. It is vermilion bird blood. Vermilion bird." The middle-aged man was excited, and his left hand reached at the void. The Fire Sparrow patriarch was about to leave the underground, his face full of remorse. He let out a sigh when a rumble suddenly came from behind him. He turned around and his pupils shrank as a giant fire palm grabbed him. In a flash, the hand brought the old man back to the edge of the sea of purple flames. Before the old man could react, he heard the Ancestor's excited voice. "Where did you obtain this blood?" He froze for a moment. He had never seen the Ancestor so excited. He quickly said, "A clan member from the fallen land brought it back." After the middle-aged man heard this, he began to laugh. There was ecstasy in his eyes, and even the 3 flame marks began to burn wildly. Good, good, good. You're worthy of being chosen as the clan patriarch by me. Good job. Immediately send all clan members and find the source of this blood in the fallen land at all costs." The Fire Sparrow patriarch quickly nodded and was about to leave. The middle-aged man's eyes lit up and he suppressed the excitement in his eyes. He said, "It's not convenient for me to go the fallen land, so I'll be outside to pick you all up. Also be careful when you're there. And check if this is a trap." The dark scorpion planet was still surrounded by a layer of devilish energy. From afar it looked extremely bizarre, and even the creatures on the planet were being affected. On this day, there were 6 more days until the Fallen Elder selection, and the devilish energy shrouding the planet began to change. The devilish energy rumbled loudly, and all began to condense toward one location. This sudden change caught the attention of the Dark Scorpion clan and the Cloud Escape clan. Just as they spread out their divine senses to observe, they noticed that the dense devilish energy was all gathering toward Wang Lin's cave. It was as if a vortex had appeared inside the cave, and was attracting all the devilish energy. In just an instant, all the devilish energy disappeared, sucked into Wang Lin's cave. From afar it looked like a giant vortex had appeared, and the center of the vortex was Wang Lin's cave. The vortex rotated rapidly and rapidly contracted. It was done in a flash, so fast that people couldn't react to it. As the devilish energy gathered in Wang Lin's cave, a thick layer of fog that divine sense couldn't penetrate formed. The fog was still rapidly condensing. Wang Lin was sitting inside this fog, and before him floated a small red person. This small person was blurry and looked like an origin soul. It was more like a soul, and it looked extremely similar to Wang Lin, except it gave off an aura of madness, and it was ferocious. At this moment, the small person opened his mouth and began to devour the devilish fog. After a moment, all the fog was devoured by the little person. The little person's body turned a bit more solid, but it seemed unsatisfied. He had a ferocious expression as he stared at Wang Lin. He let out a roar before pouncing. He seemed to even want to devour Wang Lin. When it pounced, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and revealed a cold gaze. His gaze was like a bolt of thunder, and it collided with the gaze of the little person. Scram! With a cold snort, the little person let out a miserable scream, but Wang Lin didn't use any spell. He was thrown back and landed on the ground. "I created you so I can easily destroy you." Wang Lin stood up and reached out toward the little person. The little person revealed fear. When Wang Lin's right hand reached over, he trembled before collapsing into fog. The countless strands of fog escaped in all directions, and after escaping Wang Lin's grasp, it reformed outside the cave. As soon as it appeared, it turned into a cloud and escaped. It moved very fast and was about to disappear. Wang Lin's expression was calm and he revealed a sneer. His right hand formed a seal and he blew out a breath. In an instant, a miserable scream echoed from the horizon. Shortly after, the little person flew back by himself and knelt down by himself. His body trembled and looked blurry, as if it could dissipate at any moment. Wang Lin's eyes were cold as he slowly said, "I just need one breath to destroy you." The devil's soul little person trembled and quickly kowtowed as if it was begging for mercy. Wang Lin raised his right hand and reached at the void. The fog lance suddenly appeared and pointed at the devil's soul. The devil's soul and Wang Lin's mind were linked, and it revealed a look of hesitation. Wang Lin let out a cold snort. This devil's soul trembled and turned into a ray of black light. It shot toward the fog devil lance and integrated with it. The moment it entered it, the fog devil lance seemed to gain a soul and gave off a terrifying aura. It turned into a black python and flew out of the cave. It stretched itself in the sky and let out a heaven-shaking roar. The Dark Scorpion clan members were all gobsmacked as they stared at the black python that was giving off endless pressure. They were completely shaken. The Cloud Escape clan members were the same. They stared at the black python in the sky in terror. A sense of fear appeared in their hearts. The black python contained unimaginable tyranny and madness. Its powerful bloodlust made it feel like every living thing in the world was its enemy. Zhong Big Red swallowed and excitement filled his eyes. He was different from Su Ligua. The stronger Wang Lin was, the more glory he felt. He quickly knelt down and roared, "Master's treasure is complete. He is invincible." As the black python in the sky dissipated, its body gradually dissipated. It turned into a ray of black light that entered Wang Lin's body and disappeared. An extra devil soul appeared next to Wang Lin's origin soul. Its eyes were closed and it was completely suppressed by Wang Lin's origin soul. It couldn't resist or struggle at all. Wang Lin's expression was calm, but there was a hint of joy in his heart. The Devil Soul avatar wasn't complete, but it had taken shape. After refining it many more times, it could become a real avatar. I wonder if I can return to the true form of the ancient order once my ancient god, devil and demon avatars fuse like I expect them to. Wang Lin licked his lips and waved his right hand. Two treasures immediately appeared before him, a yellow leaf and a sealed treeman. In the Fallen Land, the Fallen Elder selection was a holy event. All the small clans that were qualified to compete were preparing. The location of the event was the most mysterious planet in the Fallen Land, the Great Emperor Planet. This planet was very famous in the ancient star system, and was a focus of research of the Sovereign Council. The rumors of this planet spread far across the ancient star system. Anyone who personally saw the Great Emperor Planet wouldn't forget such a shocking sight. It has to be said that most cultivation planets in the ancient star system were spherical. Even though some were irregularly shaped, they were mostly round. This was a very strange phenomenon, and a lot of powerful cultivators tried to discover why this was so. However, in the end, they had only found some clues and weren't able to find the truth. It wasn't until the Sovereign Council announced the result of their research. It was a new law called the Law of Rotation. They believed that all planets were constantly rotating, and due to this rotation, all irregularly shaped planets would become round after a long time. However, this law changed completely when it came to the Great Emperor Planet. This planet was long, and from afar, it looked like the needle on a compass that was slowly rotating. No one knew why the Great Emperor Planet was like this. This was the Holy Land of the Fallen Land, and where the Great Emperor's cave was. Normally, there was an unimaginable tearing and magnetic force around the planet. Cultivators would find that their treasures had become useless here, and even their cultivations would be suppressed. Only during the selection of fallen elders would these forces weaken greatly, and several tunnels to enter the planet would appear. Aside from the more than 300 clans participating in the fallen elder selection, there would also be people from the ancient star system. Most of them were invited by these clans and would sometimes help in battle. The Great Emperor never cared about this, and this gradually became an unspoken rule. However, someone who wasn't from one of the clans of the Fallen Land couldn't become an elder, or else they would die. Every Fallen Elder selection, the Sovereign Council would send people to observe as guests. This was to show their recognition of the Fallen Council and pay respects to the Great Emperor. They also came here to observe and even support certain clans. Aside from the Sovereign Council, the Fallen Council would also send out invitations to invite powerful people in the ancient star system. The Great Emperor ignored all of this. It was as if the Fallen Elder selection was merely a festivity. Wang Lin moved to the Great Emperor Planet with the Dark Scorpion clan and the Cloud Escape clan. A woman with long hair was standing on a giant octagonal compass outside of the Fallen Land. She was frowning, and no one knew what she was thinking about. Beside her was a middle-aged man. He was also looking ahead, and his expression was gloomy. Grandmaster Yun Luo, that Great Emperor killed my avatar. What is the Sovereign Council's stance on this? There will be compensation. The long-haired woman whispered as she looked at the Fallen Land. She thought in her heart, to be sheltered by the Great Emperor. Now I really want to see this person with my own eyes. I just don't know if he is the person mentioned in the ancestors' prediction. In another part of the ancient star system there was a soft blue light. Dao Master Blue Dream was slowly walking with his hands behind his back. Li Qianmei silently followed behind him. Even further away, in a star domain where almost no one went to, there was a beast the size of a cultivation planet slowly moving. This beast was the shape of an ellipses, and there were countless tentacles tens of thousands of feet long, slowly swaying throughout its body. Moongazer Serpent. There was an old man wearing a white robe. He had an extremely bizarre appearance, and half of his face was black. His face was like an yin and yang symbol. Behind him stood three people that looked like servants. If Wang Lin saw them, he would find them extremely familiar. Emuzi Widow-chan and the already dead Xianxia. The day before the Fallen Elder selection, Wang Lin arrived outside the Great Emperor Planet with the Dark Scorpion clan and the Cloud Escape clan. When Wang Lin saw this strange planet, his eyes narrowed. The Great Emperor Planet was surrounded by a layer of illusion. as if it was being hidden by a layer of fog. However, there were big spatial rifts that would devour everything inside this illusory fog. There were also waves of gray lines moving within the illusory fog. If you looked closely, you would find they weren't real, but gave off waves of magnetic force. Before Wang Lin even got close, he felt an extremely shocking force inside the illusory fog. This power was heaven-shattering. It could cause cultivators' spells to disintegrate and their treasures to collapse. This wasn't man-made or the power of a treasure, but something created by heaven. Wang Lin's pupil shrank. He observed it for a long time as he floated outside the illusory fog. There was already a large amount of cultivators outside this illusory fog. There were hundreds of them scattered everywhere, and those that knew each other were chatting softly. Wang Lin's arrival drew some attention and divine senses swept over. When they swept past the Dark Scorpion clan and the Escape Cloud clan, they all withdrew. As for Wang Lin, with his divine sense, very few people could see the real him. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged and he coldly stared ahead. Every single fallen elder selection is carried out at the Great Emperor planet, but it is normally not accessible. When everyone has been gathered, a tunnel opens from the inside to allow everyone in. We didn't come too late, so the tunnel should open soon, the Dark Scorpion Patriarch whispered to Wang Lin. Wang Lin nodded and his gaze swept by the cultivators gathered here. There was no less than 10,000 cultivators. Although there were a lot of people, it was still insignificant in this vast space. I didn't think the Cloud Escape clan would take an interest in the Dark Scorpion clan, which always likes to be underground, and be accepted as subordinates. Really interesting. A sharp voice came from the front. A middle-aged man in blue walked out from a group of nearly 1,000 cultivators. This man's appearance was ordinary, but his eyes were like venomous snakes. There was a coldness hidden in his eyes. There was a serpent mark between his eyebrows, making him look even more gloomy. His words were filled with ridicule, and he stopped moving when he spoke. His gaze swept past Wang Lin's group. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch's expression changed. He looked at the middle-aged man and let out a cold snort. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch whispered, "That is the Soul Serpent clan's head elder. During the last elder selection, they fought with the Cloud Escape clan. The result was a tie and both were disqualified. They also had some friction in the past." The Cloud Escape Patriarch was naturally also standing next to Wang Lin. When he heard the Soul Serpent clan's head elder's words, he remained calm and silently kept his head down. The Soul Serpent clan's head elder smiled and slowly said, "Rumor has it that the Cloud Escape clan invited Greed as an honorary elder. With Greed, I presume the Cloud Escape clan will be set for a seat as a fallen elder. However, how come I don't see Senior Greed?" His voice wasn't loud, but it contained his cultivation, so it echoed. The 10,000 cultivators here were all from the clans in the Fallen Land. They had all come here to steal a spot in the Fallen Council, and it could be said that they were all enemies to each other. Obtaining more information would be a great help in obtaining an elder seat. After hearing the words of the Soul Serpent clan's head elder, everyone looked toward the Cloud Escape clan. The name of Greed was very famous. Him helping the Cloud Escape clan was enough to catch the attention of the other clans. This old man heard that fellow cultivator Greed had become an honorary elder of the Cloud Escape clan. Fellow cultivator Greed helped me once before, so I wanted to visit him. Master Yun Dun, why has fellow cultivator Greed not come? The person who spoke was an old man in a purple robe. His face was pale, but his voice was loud. There were 3 arcs on his forehead. It was a water wave-like mark. The Cloud Escape Patriarch raised his head and looked at Wang Lin. Then he said in a cold voice, "Senior Greed had to leave due to some urgent matter and won't be coming. There's no need for all of you to guess," and lowered his head. This scene was seen by the old man who had spoken, and his pupil shrank. A branch of the 5-Element clan, the Patriarch of the River Creek clan. He is currently the 13th Fallen Elder. The Dark Scorpion Patriarch next to Wang Lin said softly. Wang Lin's expression remained calm and he nodded slightly. "Who is talking about this old man's name?" The River Creek Patriarch, the 13th Fallen Elder, said in a cold voice. His gaze was like lightning, and it fell on Wang Lin and the Dark Scorpion Patriarch. The River Creek Patriarch's eyes lit up and he slowly said, "Little Scorpion, why haven't you come and kneeled after seeing this old man? However, his gaze was locked onto Wang Lin. The expression of the dark scorpion patriarch changed greatly. To demand him to kneel before all these people was a great insult. The commotion caught the attention of the surrounding cultivators. They all looked over with the intent of watching a show. The middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan smiled and shook his head. Little Scorpion, even if you want to climb up, you should be careful of who you choose follow. However, I can't blame you. Scorpions that only know how to hide underground are short-sighted. What, still not coming over? That's good. You come here and kneel. The 13th Fallen Elder, the River Creek Patriarch, pointed directly at Wang Lin. After he spoke, the Dark Scorpion Patriarch's expression recovered, and he revealed a hint of ridicule. Not only him, but the Cloud Escape Patriarch also raised his head. There was mockery in his eyes and a deep hidden sense of pride. Wang Lin smiled as he looked at Old Man and slowly said, "What, we can't say your name?" The 13th Fallen Elder's eyes lit up. He saw how the Cloud Escape Patriarch looked at Wang Lin, and from the way they were standing, this person seemed to be in charge. This was why he had spoken. As the 13th Fallen Elder, in order to get reselected, he needed to show a display of might. Although the Dark Scorpion clan was small, the Cloud Escape clan was not. With Greed's reputation, they were the best choice to use to show off his might. As far as the old man knew, Wang Lin was someone appointed by Greed, so using Wang Lin to show off his might was the same as using Greed. However, the mockery in the eyes of the Dark Scorpion Patriarch and the Cloud Escape Patriarch made him feel like something bad was coming. This person must have been appointed by Greed. Although Greed is strong, I'm a fallen elder, so there is nothing to fear. Thinking about this, the old man coldly snorted and said, "Only people that are qualified can say it. I just don't know if you have the qualifications." The elders and patriarchs were all old foxes, so they more or less guessed the situation. They had all come to the same conclusion that Wang Lin was someone appointed by Greed to come here. "You must not be from the fallen land. I advise you quickly kneel before me. Know that even your master, Greed, would have no choice but to kneel in this situation." The eyes of the head elder of the Soul Serpent clan lit up. It was he who had provoked this, and he was very happy to see the 13th Fallen Elder target the Cloud Escape clan. "Qualifications?" Wang Lin smiled. "Who dares to say Senior doesn't have the qualifications?" A roar suddenly came from the distance. A burst of rumbles echoed and more than 1,000 rays of light rushed over here. The person at the lead was a young man, and beside him were elders who were at the Heaven's Blight stage. They came with a powerful momentum and stood beside Wang Lin's group. The young man quickly stepped toward Wang Lin and clasped his hands. He was extremely respectful and loudly said, "Junior Armored Dragon Patriarch greets Senior." Behind him, the more than 1,000 Armored Dragon cultivators all looked at Wang Lin with respect and a hint of fear. They clasped their hands and said, "Greetings, Senior." This scene caused the expressions of all the cultivators here to change. Armored Dragon Clan. The 9th Elder's Armored Dragon Clan. Rumor has it that the 9th Fallen Elder was stripped of his title a few months ago and a new patriarch was chosen. This matter spread far and away. However, the reason for the removal of the 9th Elder was kept secret, so not many people know. Although the Armored Dragon Clan doesn't have many people, they are very powerful. They can be considered top 10 among the 372 clans in the Fallen Land. Who the hell is this person to make the Armored Dragon Clan greet him? Could it be he has nothing to do with Greed? The middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan was stunned and his eyes lit up. The old man from the River Creek clan became gloomy. He looked Wang Lin and the fear in the eyes of the Armored Dragon clan members. A terrifying thought suddenly appeared in his heart. This guess immediately made the old man feel like a bucket of cold water had been dumped over him. His body trembled and his eyes were filled with terror and shock, along with a hint of disbelief. Impossible! I must be overthinking it. Just at this moment, the illusory fog formed by the magnetic force began to rumble. Then it began to expand and continue to spread. Then a passage was suddenly ripped open and revealed. Dozens of cold-looking cultivators came out of the passage. The person leading was the messenger that had appeared in the Armored Dragon clan. He didn't even look at the surrounding people and flew toward Wang Lin. Seeing this, the 13th Fallen Elder felt his heart skip a beat. The messenger flew at Wang Lin very fast. He instantly closed in on Wang Lin. When he was within 100 feet, he stopped and revealed a respectful smile. Then he clasped his hands and said, "Subordinate greets young emperor." Not only him, but the cultivators that came out of the passage quickly flew over as well. They also stopped 100 feet away and respectfully clasped their hands. "Greetings, young emperor." The entire area became completely silent. The hundreds of clans and 10,000 cultivators were silent. Their expressions suddenly changed as they stared at Wang Lin with shock and disbelief in their eyes. Young emperor was real. This matter had been announced by the great emperor a few months ago, but no one had seen him. This was the first time these cultivators had seen the young emperor in person. Young emperor. The middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan turned pale and horror filled his eyes. His heart pounded rapidly, his mouth turned dry, and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. He stared at Wang Lin and was dumbfounded. There was also the 13th fallen elder. His expression changed greatly and he subconsciously took a few steps back. His mind trembled and his eyes were filled with fear. He would never have expected his guess to be true. When I saw the Armored Dragon clan, I should have realized it. The 9th fallen elder was stripped of his title due to offending this person. I tried to use him to show my might. The River Creek patriarch trembled and licked his dried lips. He began to panic in his heart. The messenger began to respectfully explain. "I made young emperor wait long. It takes a while to open this passage, so it took some time." After he spoke, the surrounding 10,000 cultivators reacted. The actual time to open the passage hadn't arrived. They should have had to wait a few more hours for it to open. To open the passage early, this young emperor. In the Fallen Land, there have only been 2 young emperor, and now a third one has appeared. This third young emperor must be valued even more than the previous 2, or else the passage wouldn't be open early. This kind of thing has never happened before. The 13th fallen elder is really blind to provoke the young emperor. I want to see how he intends to deal with this. There is also the Soul Serpent clan's head elder. I fear he will also suffer. The words of the messenger had set off a huge wave in the hearts of the surrounding cultivators. Wang Lin calmly nodded at the cultivators before him. "Young emperor, please enter the great emperor planet." The messenger respectfully stepped to the side and made way. Wang Lin slowly walked forward into the passage that had opened up, accompanied by the messenger. After seeing this, the 13th fallen elder relaxed. He felt that Wang Lin wasn't the vengeful type and wouldn't make it difficult on him. No matter what, he was still a fallen elder. Even if the other party was the young emperor, he would still have to give a fallen elder some face. Maybe he could even use this method to earn a favor. This person is benevolent. Although he is the young emperor, he is an easily bullied man. Just as he thought he was lucky, his pupils shrank. Just as Wang Lin took a few steps, he suddenly turned around and looked at the middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan. Wang Lin's gaze was cold. The moment it landed on the middle-aged man, his body trembled and more cold sweat appeared. He felt as if Wang Lin's gaze could pierce through his mind and was filled with coldness. The messenger beside Wang Lin also stopped and revealed a hint of doubt. He also looked at the middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan, and his expression became gloomy. "Capture him." The messenger's voice was cold. In an instant, the people around him rushed forward toward the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan revealed a look of despair. The expression of the Soul Serpent clan members behind him changed greatly, and they were filled with fear. His sin doesn't deserve death, but the Soul Serpent clan is stripped of their right to participate in the Fallen Elder selection. Wang Lin's voice was low, but it clearly echoed in the ears of the surrounding cultivators. The cultivators charging at the middle-aged man stopped and retreated behind Wang Lin without any hesitation. The middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan was pale, and when he heard Wang Lin's words, he trembled once more. Even more despair filled his eyes. Those words were several times worse than killing him. It has to be said that even if he died, it would just be one person. Although he was saved, he had become the sinner of the entire clan. The middle-aged man clasped his hands and bitterly smiled. "Thank you, young emperor, for having mercy." Wang Lin's attention drifted away from him and his gaze fell on the River Creek patriarch. The 13th Fallen Elder. The 13th Fallen Elder's heart skipped a beat and his face turned ashen. Wang Lin pointed at the 13th Fallen Elder and slowly said to the messenger, "Strip him of his Fallen Elder status, and make him kneel on the Dark Scorpion planet for 100 years. The messenger hesitated for a moment, but when he saw the coldness flashing through Wang Lin's eyes, he nodded. The River Creek clan loses their spot in the Fallen Elder selection. After Wang Lin finished speaking, he looked at the Cloud Escape Patriarch not far away and said, "Break one of your arms and don't let it happen again." The Cloud Escape Patriarch felt cold sweat appear on his forehead. He knew that Wang Lin was powerful, and he had intentionally glanced at Wang Lin to make the 13th Fallen Elder provoke Wang Lin. He didn't expect Wang Lin to notice his intention. At this moment, he clenched his teeth, his right hand formed a sword, and he pointed at his left shoulder without hesitation. With a bang, all the meridians in his left arm were broken. The Cloud Escape Patriarch's face was deathly pale as he softly said, "Thank you, young Emperor, for showing mercy. Junior knows his wrongdoing." Wang Lin turned around and calmly walked into the passage. The surroundings were even more silent. The gazes of the 10,000 cultivators gathered on Wang Lin, and their minds were shaken. However, some people felt disdain toward Wang Lin's behavior, and felt that he was nothing without his backing. If this person wasn't the young emperor, he wouldn't be so arrogant. There isn't just one young emperor. He came to the Great Emperor planet to participate in the young emperor trial. Only by successfully passing it can he become a true young emperor. That's right, the young emperor trial is extremely difficult. Over the years, there were many qualified participants, and although they weren't appointed by the Great Emperor personally, none of them passed. Even though he was appointed personally by the Great Emperor, it will be difficult for him to pass. The duty of the young emperor is very important. They can even take over the place of the Great Emperor to rule the entire fallen land. Even though the Sovereign Council has to be respectful toward the young emperor. The messenger followed Wang Lin and gradually closed in on the passage. Just as he entered, he felt a tearing force come from the edge of the passage, and there was also a magnetic force. His origin soul loosened as if it was going to be sucked out from his body. However, the suction within the passage wasn't strong. If one was outside, the tearing magnetic force would be terrifying. However, just as Wang Lin moved 100 feet, his expression changed and he looked into the distance. A heaven-shaking rumble came from the distance. This roar was extremely shocking and immediately disrupted the silence outside. Even the expression of the messenger changed. An octagonal compass flew from the distance. This compass was about 1,000 feet wide and gave off glaring light. There was also a large amount of rune marks flashing, making it look even more imposing. The compass got closer and closer. It closed in on the Great Emperor planet in an instant. There were two people standing on it. The person in front was a long-haired woman. Her hair was like silk and she was very beautiful. Her eyes were like moonlight and charmed all the surrounding cultivators. She stood there like a fairy, her clothes moving gently along with her hair. Beside her stood a middle-aged man. His expression was gloomy and he was like a mountain, with a pressure spreading out from his body. This pressure hit like a storm, causing the expressions of the surrounding cultivators to change, and they retreated. There was blurry smoke surrounding the man. The smoke contained distorted faces that gave off silent roars. There were more than 1,000,000 different faces showing up. Joss flames. Third step cultivators. Some people immediately recognized what the smoke was, and their expressions changed greatly. This little girl is Yun Luo. I came to represent the Sovereign Council to greet the Great Emperor. I was invited by the head of the Fallen Council, and I greet all fellow Fallen Land cultivators. Master Simo greets the Great Emperor. The man beside the woman looked at the Great Emperor planet with an indifferent gaze. However, his expression immediately changed and became filled with killing intent. He had spotted Wang Lin inside the passage to the Great Emperor planet. Wang Lin also saw Master Simo. Their gazes weren't distant, and they collided like two swords that could destroy the world. Little bastard! Master Simo's voice squeezed through his teeth, and it contained powerful killing intent. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he slowly said, "Loser, you can only rely on words. What kind of third-step cultivator are you? Do you are to fight me?" The thing Master Simo hated the most was his avatar being killed. Now that Wang Lin had brought it up, his killing intent was monstrous. Wang Lin smiled. There was mockery in his eyes as he said, "Do you dare to enter this magnetic fog to destroy your cultivation until you fall down to fifth heaven's blight and battle me?" After he spoke, the surroundings went into an uproar. Master Simo was startled and was unable to say a word, but his expression was extremely gloomy. He didn't dare. "Fellow cultivator is very sharp. I just don't know what your name is. Could you tell Yun Luo?" The long-haired woman smiled and her gaze was like moonlight as she looked at Wang Lin. However, to Wang Lin, that smile was extremely pretentious and made him feel disgusted. The position of the Sovereign Council's Grandmaster isn't based on cultivation level. It is a title passed down by each generation. You're just a cheeky little girl that has cultivated for less than 1,000 years, and you dare to call me fellow cultivator? No respect for your seniors. Is this how your predecessor taught you? Wang Lin's expression was cold, and his words were even colder. The woman was startled for a moment and a hint of gloominess appeared on her face, but she soon returned to normal. She revealed a gentle smile as she slightly bowed toward Wang Lin and said, "This little girl has learned her lesson. I wonder if Senior can tell me his name." This woman had asked Wang Lin's name twice and had already attracted Wang Lin's attention. Although he didn't know of any spells that used one's name, the Grand Master of the Sovereign Council had extremely strange and unfathomable spells. When he thought of how she could calculate where he was hiding as if she had seen it herself, Wang Lin couldn't help but remember another person he had a profound memory of, the All-Seer. In truth, in all his life as a cultivator, the All-Seer was the one person Wang Lin couldn't see through and dread the most. Not even Taoist water could create the same sense of dread. At this moment, Wang Lin's expression was calm, but his heart was vigilant. He looked at the woman and slowly said, "Su Mu." His name was no secret for those that wanted to know. However, Wang Lin vaguely felt that her finding out and him saying it himself were different. The woman's eyes lit up. After saying the name Su Mu 3 times in her heart, she made an almost indiscernible frown. "If this person doesn't personally say his real name, I can't use the name puppet spell on him." Wang Lin turned around. He didn't look back at the woman and Master Simo and went deeper into the tunnel. The messenger quickly followed, and the two disappeared into the distance. While moving forward, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. What he had done to the River Creek clan and the Soul Snake clan were done to test the Great Emperor.